Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 318. It's a pretty fun week, actually. There's a lot of stuff happening, games coming out. It's been pretty good. We got a bunch of people here to talk about it. Let me start with MVG. MVG's here tonight.
Hello, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on as always.
Good to have MVG here. We got OJ holding up the pre-show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Shout outs to 500 plus people that were watching. Appreciate you guys.
Good stuff, good stuff. We have RGT.
My name is Luca. I live on the second floor.
Okay. You're in your basement right now.
I like Luca. She's great in Chrono Trigger. Luca's awesome. She's
good character.
Yeah,
song about domestic abuse. It's not about
Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Good way to start the show. We have Josie. Josie with us tonight. Good to have Josie here. We got Jordan Fringe.
I am here. Hello.
Max is back with us, Dreamcast guy.
Hello. I was off
you
my
got the nice
birthday.
Zelda controller. Very nice.
I actually forgot I pre-ordered it, and apparently a lot of people missed it. Apparently the pre-orders for this sold out really quick. It's gorgeous. I'm glad I got it, honestly.
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
I just got mine in today, but I didn't take it out. But yeah, I just got it in from GameStop.
Okay.
I love it, man.
They'll restock it. I want to try to pick one of those up. Then we have Evan.
Yep.
Evan's here. All right, good. So let's see. We got Zelda, of course, came out this week. We're gonna be talking all about that. We're gonna try to avoid anything story-wise, though, just for spoiler sake. So we'll try to keep that out of the conversation.
Can I say something real quick? I've been told by a million different people, they're telling Max, don't spoil the game. That's what people have been telling me. I'm saying that you're not going to, but everyone say, tell Max to not spoil the game.
That's fair. If anybody watched my review of it, I didn't say a single thing about the story at all, because I do have that habit. I'll admit that is a bad habit of mine to be like, in the ending of the game. No.
Like right away.
Who would have guessed that this happened?
No, I love Max's videos. Max, I've been on a binge, man, lately.
Is it a spoiler to say?
Yeah, is it a spoiler to say ending of the game?
To say that, like, right off the bat, we get to the middle of this door controversy. Yeah.
The door is kind of early in the game.
And the fact that once you complete something and it says completed, it's very nice to have that specific phrase of what is completed acknowledged. So I appreciate the game going out of their way to appease me and my questions.
Okay. We also have some strange stuff going on at Sony. It's like one of their live service games maybe didn't work out like they were hoping. Metal Gear is back in the news. And I actually had a question for Sean on that one, since he's the big Metal Gear Solid 3 guru here. All right, good. And we have Mortal Kombat to talk about, because I think we're going to be seeing that pretty soon. Evan, you want to start with Discord question?
Who on the cast is going to too many games, and can you convince Sean to go?
I'll be there. Yeah, Sean, you should. Hey, Sean, you should go.
Well, we'll see.
It's really fun. It's super fun.
I'm going to go.
I'll go if Sean goes.
Oh, there it is. Sean, if you go, MVG's going to go.
Let's go.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
Stay home, make videos.
Sean will go now. Sean's going to go.
Nice.
I'll just never take a Spirit airplane ever again from California to Pennsylvania.
I know.
No.
I did it from Texas. I ended up sitting in a hotel, I sat in the airport. They delayed my flight randomly. They're like, it's Spirit, you can't reschedule. So it took me 24 hours to get home. I had to sit in the airport for 24 hours. I was bored out of my mind.
Bro, it felt like Homelander. Like, remember that part of The Boys with that plane? Bro, it felt like that part. I was like, this place, shit, we going down.
The whole thing's made of the cheapest plastic possible, duct taped together.
Yeah, the dude that was sitting next to me smelled like nachos and ass, and he was big too. You know, those seats are really close together, man. So it was rough.
I think I got a Spawncast panel set up, so people want to come out and see us.
Is it going to be a surprise on the day?
No. I wanted to have it before the weekend, technically, because I'd rather have Saturday and Sunday to just kind of hang out, walk the floor, do whatever. So I try to get the panel done earlier in the 3 days. So
You think you're big enough to incentivize people on showing up on Friday? Because that's what they usually do. It's either no disrespect, because I've been in that situation, but it's either the bums on Friday or like a heavy hitter, which is really like the in-between people are on the weekend.
I don't know.
The bums, huh?
Maybe we'll be on Friday.
I was on a bum panel before. In the fucking shitty room 3, like, you know.
Last time they put us on main stage.
What's wrong with room 3? That's my favorite
hear
number.
anything.
Yeah, technically main stage sucked. So
Couldn't hear anything.
freaking German techno to our right. It was great.
Well, they used to have it where it was there's room 3, room 2, and then room 1. And
I
room
like
1 was
the smaller panel rooms.
the room 1 is actually a room. It's just a really big room.
I like just the panel rooms are nice. I think it's easier to hear everyone, and I think it works better. I think the acoustics are just better. Whereas when the main stage, you'd say something and it would just go straight up in there and you wouldn't hear it. And so
It was kind of hard to hear though.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. But I mean, hey, it's
still hella fun though.
It's fun though. Yeah, it's good time. So we're gonna try to get Sean out there. We're gonna try. Everyone was asking for you last time, dude. So
everybody, literally, I got stopped. I got stopped when I was playing freaking Smash 64. Hey, is RGT coming? I'm like, who? What?
Somebody sent me a thing that some convention in Sacramento did a poll on who they wanted to go out there the most. It was between me, Arlo, and some other people, and I fucking dominated that poll. And I'm like, I don't even know these people who are asking me about this. And you're west of the Mississippi.
You're gonna cross. Say you gotta cross the Mississippi.
Don't hold your breath.
You're a big.
Sean, hey, too many games is not on the other side of Mississippi. You're good.
But it is past the gas station.
Last Too Many Games, there was a guy who was carrying around a bunch of copies of Balan Wonderworld, and he kept saying it was the RGT jump scare, and he wanted you to sign him, and you didn't show up, and he was like, he beat me.
Mr. Studmuffin.
Mr. Studmuffin, yeah.
Mr. Studmuffin, yeah.
The hottiest, horniest man on Twitter.
We'll get you.
I don't know if I could trust him.
We'll get you out there. Sean should come out though. It'd be fun.
We'll see.
There you go. And apparently, if Sean goes, MVG has to go. MVG got to catch a last minute flight. Gonna miss Spirit travel by catapult. It'd be great. Let's. You know what? I do want to get Sean's take on the ROG Ally, because somehow, some way, one of us on this podcast got the thing.
The new emulation guy.
Yeah,
somehow they trusted Sean with this thing, so I want to give him a few minutes to tell us about the ROG Ally. It's out next month, right? Pre-orders are live now. $700 for the Extreme. I think the lower end model is $600. That's not till Q3 of this year, so maybe in the fall. A lot of people obviously looking towards that Extreme model. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is very impressive. I think it's honestly, even if you strip away everything and the similarities between a Steam Deck, the screen, it's I wouldn't say it's quite as drastic as like a Switch to a Switch OLED in terms of quality, but you're going from 1200 by 800 to full 1080p, and that makes a big difference in these games. The sound quality leagues better than the Steam. Like there's two front speakers, and they're very, very bassy, like very impressive stuff. But I mean, just in terms of what it can do, and I think it's, you can access your Steam account easily, just like you can on a Steam Deck, but the Windows operating system being like the mandatory thing. If you get that little dock thing, like I just plugged in the dock thing, allows you to go to your TV and use USB accessories. I had a multi USB thing that I just plugged into that. So I had 4 ports, had my controller set up, mouse, keyboard. So I was just using it like a little Windows PC when I was doing my emulation stuff on today's video. Make sure you go check it out. It's an emulation monster. It was playing pretty much everything I threw at it. It's, if you're wanting, it's almost kind of like a Steam Deck Pro almost. Like it feels like a big difference, and with the Steam Deck still, commanding a decent value, if you want something a little bit better, you could probably pick one of these up.
Did you use that 120 hertz screen at all? As in, did you play any games that hit over 60 frames on it?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if you try to knock the settings down or just do something, or even use a game that like CSGO, for example, that typically does hundreds of frames a second.
Do I look like a man who's going to play CSGO?
I mean, it's a first-person shooter.
No.
Yeah, about to say kinda.
not a lot of kids play that, so he doesn't exactly have a good demographic.
What about Hades?
That shit ass Redfall. I mean, if you play Redfall, why don't you play CSGO?
I played Spider-Man. I played stuff that I had in my Steam library.
You could have loaded up Hades though and used Game Pass, and it would have. I
didn't set up the Game Pass, but you can do that pretty easily. They have a like a proprietary thing that like tries to keep all of your games together, so that you have, sorry, I'm editing something right now. So that you have access to everything just in one. So like when you boot up this, it's actually kind of interesting. When you boot up the system, it kind of starts out very similar to like a Windows operating system, but it automatically boots up this program like within a few seconds that has all of your games in one place. So if you have games on Epic Store or Steam, or Xbox Game Pass, it puts them all right in there. But what's interesting is I tried to hook up my Batocera hard drive because I have different games on there than I have on my 10 terabyte. But with Batocera, you actually have to do like a recovery options and then boot it, or you can just boot it from the main thing, but you have to boot it as a separate operating system. And it won't let you. It would not let me do Batocera. It kept giving me an error, and then it would kick me out and then boot back to the main Windows interface. So I'm sure somebody will figure a way around that. But just from the emulation side, considering that nothing is optimized for this right now, unlike with Steam Deck where people are optimizing things to run better on Steam Deck, the fact that nothing is optimized for this and it's already playing PS3, Xbox 360, Wii U at full speeds, like, bro, fucking crazy.
I was gonna say for emulation, that seems like a pretty easy pickup there if you're trying to get a handheld like that. Did you?
Armory Crate, yes. Anthony,
Okay.
Thank you, Anthony. That's the name of the proprietary thing.
Okay, I assume no, you didn't play around with anything like overclocking wise or anything like. I don't even know if that's part of their embargo or not. Like, don't overclock this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hi. Battery life.
Similar to the Steam Deck. I had them both running, and they full settings, brightness all the way up, and it's not anything really better than a Steam Deck.
I mean, that's the thing. If it could match the Steam Deck but have better performance, I think most people would take it.
Right. And it does run hot sometimes. There's two fans on the top of it, and sometimes when you're emulating like PS3 stuff or 360 stuff, like it definitely gets pretty damn warm. Gets a little bit on the noisy side as well. So that's something to, I guess, keep an eye on long term.
Yeah, I was curious. It has two fans inside. The cooling seems pretty good for it. The Steam Deck would get pretty loud too, though. So
yeah, the Steam Deck, and you actually feel the heat on that, whereas you don't really on the actual system on the Steam Deck. You feel the heat, whereas with this, no, you don't really feel it. You just feel it coming out of the top of the fans.
Ergonomics good on it though, like the whole the setup for it, the grip, everything.
Similar to the Steam Deck, but I feel like the weight distribution is better. It feels like the weight is more so in the middle, whereas the Steam Deck is kind of top heavy, in my opinion. It feels like most of the weight is up there, and then as you go down, it's kind of gets lighter, whereas this is more balanced. It's a little bit smaller than the Steam Deck. The analog sticks are different, but I don't necessarily think that they're worse than the Steam Deck. They're just kind of different than the Steam Deck. And there's only one set of trigger buttons on the back of the unit, whereas the Steam Deck actually has two sets of trigger buttons.
The trigger buttons are fine. I haven't felt the need to use them as much as I thought I would on the Steam Deck. I thought I'd use them all the time, and
I have a question.
I've never used them.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
This is not my info. Someone said on Twitter that apparently you can't use the triggers and the joysticks at the same time. You know what? Is that, number one, is that true? And number two, if it is, then what the hell?
Yeah, that sounds wild.
Well, that seems weird.
What? Can you test it right now?
I played Spider-Man 2.
When you say at the same time, is it if he's holding the trigger, does it stop using the joystick, or do you have to like set both up separately?
That's interesting.
So this is the tweet. It says ROG Ally reviews spending all their time on performance when it seems like the face buttons are completely jank and you can't use trigger and joysticks at the same time. These are deal breakers and should be most of what anyone talks about, not performance and at different power specs.
Was it somebody notable that said that, MVG?
Yeah, someone that's like a tech reviewer.
Is it a joystick button?
Well, I guess I don't really understand.
The back button and the joystick?
Like the press and click?
Maybe Sean, go into like Spider-Man and try and steer. So like while you're swinging, hold the R2 and see if you can like pivot.
I'm pretty sure I did in my video, but I will try it right now.
That seems, if that's real, that's a insane oversight.
Well, you should be able to, if it's a Windows boot, you should be able to go into a controller setting and actually see what you're hitting physically and see that it's
that also
tracking
seems like something they would fix in through a patch or something.
Yeah, a pre-launch patch, hopefully.
I would assume. That'd be crazy if they had to recall the thing. I assume not, but
Well, hold on. It's okay. Now it's connected to Wi-Fi. I'll give it a second.
Thank you.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Otherwise, I mean, the device is very interesting. I have pre-ordered it. I was going to either way because I wanted to
fuck all of you.
take it apart, check it out, and everything. So it'll be fun. That's next month. It'll be coming out. So
Yes.
Best Buy. I think Best Buy is the only one carrying it. I think it's like a Best Buy exclusive. So
Not really.
exciting stuff to check out there. Yeah, you just let us know, Sean, if you said the back button and the sticks. Okay.
You said the triggers.
The trigger, back button and the trigger.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah, back button, trigger.
The triggers and the sticks, John.
Sticks. Okay, thank you. Let's go to a Discord question, Evan.
Let's go with, are the N64 and Virtual Boy the only Nintendo devices to never get a functionally unique variant? Examples: Top Loader, NES, Panasonic Q, 2 Wii U SKUs.
The Virtual Boy, and what was the other one?
The N64.
Yes, because N64 didn't get a variant.
Yeah.
The Virtual Boy
Wait,
didn't.
the Wii U got a variant? What's the
Apparently
Wii U
there was
variant?
a second SKU for the Wii U.
There was a
I'm not
white
sure.
and a black one.
Yeah,
I
it was
mean,
white
it's
and
just
black.
Well,
it's different.
There was.
Well, I mean, there's
wasn't there,
different
like,
color
a bunch of
Nintendo
N64s. Yeah.
Well, isn't also I kind of consider
case.
the other SKU for N64 is the pack-in expansion pack, right?
Well, I think he meant like an actual like system, like where you change the system, like a Wii Mini compared to like a Wii.
Pikmin Guts is correct. There was the IQ China variant on the
N64. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. The controller that just basically it's the system and everything all put together.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually had it like connectivity. If you went to, I think it was like these kiosks or something with it, and you could like cartridge and change them out.
Yeah,
So-
but that was only
Oh,
it
yeah.
was only like in what, Korea or something like
China,
that?
in China.
China.
Yeah.
China.
Okay.
There's a way they
Count?
kind of curate it too. So they had a specific library that they used for it. But yeah, I guess technically N64 did have that Virtual Boy, but I mean, Nintendo pretends like the Virtual Boy doesn't exist. So
I'm still
There
sad
you
about that. I wish we got Virtual Boy on freaking Nintendo Switch Online personally.
What the hell is this thing doing?
Evan, you have another Discord question?
I guess we're waiting for him. All eyes are on
Yeah, that's
Xbox, but aren't all companies slowing down over these last few years?
Companies slowing down. You mean like for game releases?
No.
Yeah, releases and now.
For Rockstar, yeah.
Yeah.
I know
don't-
Rockstar
Sony's
releases like
slowing down.
one game every 6 years or something.
I will say, I was talking about this in a video this week, but I think development time is increasing, but studios that have a lot of, or publishers that have a lot of studios are still having a pretty good output. Like think about, I mean, a lot of these Ubisoft games are taking longer to make, but you don't notice because there's so many games coming out. I think only Xbox is having the problem where they have 23 studios and somehow 2 games, you know.
I'll come for you, Max. Careful.
Let them. There's going to be Xbox Twitter accounts. Horse Twitter's going to be mad at me. Who knows?
Why does a game that's been in development for 6 years still require a day one patch?
It's just the nature of video game development.
Yeah, that's kind of how. I mean, everything seems to have a day one patch nowadays, right? Like I'm trying to think of a game that didn't, like large scale game.
From what I understand in game development, MVG, it's like you fix one thing, then something else pops up. Then you fix one thing, then something else pops up. Even all the way up until right before the game is about to come out sometimes.
Yeah, but it's also like sometimes you just got to call it and say, we need to get out the minimal viable product, the version 1, knowing that version 1 is going to have some bugs, but you submit version 1 to get certified and that goes through. And then by the time like the duration between version 1 and then the release date means you can actually get a patch ready for day 1. So a lot of studios just decide that that's what they want to do. It makes a lot of sense.
I also feel like people like sometimes even reviewers find stuff and they're like, oh, we should probably patch that. So it's just the way it goes.
That's one of the weird reports from Redfall is IGN has talked about this extensively on Podcast Unlocked, but apparently when they flew to Bethesda and were playing Redfall before it came out, the tuning was totally different. And apparently the version we're playing now is much different than the version that they played. So, and it sounds like some of these games, sometimes the pre-release build and day one patch radically changes it.
Okay.
What we got on the point of, do you think the releases of handheld PCs will increase new PC gaming users?
Oh, yeah, probably. I mean, if the Steam Deck's already kind of done that. I feel like a lot of people are checking out the Steam Deck who just aren't that into PC gaming because it's a nice, easy gateway into it.
I love it for that. I'm an idiot. I love that everything just tells me this works on Steam Deck. You buy it through the Steam Deck. I love that.
I think they still have to get it in the stores, like just where you walk in. Oh, there's a Steam Deck for $400. I'll take it. But at least I think it's, again, a good way for people who aren't into PC gaming to kind of find their way in. And who knows, maybe they decide, you know what, I'll go build a PC now.
But none of the competition's in stores, right? Like the ROG's not going to be in stores.
Here's the interesting thing. It's going to be stocked in Best Buy on their website. So I kind of feel like it'll find its way into stores soonish. So I don't know if that's going to be on June 13th when it launches, but probably over the summer I could see it start to get stocked. So we'll see. But yeah, once they start appearing in stores and they end up being impulse buys like that $400 Steam Deck, then I think it'll really start moving along for non-PC gamers to get in. Let's talk about Zelda. We put it off long enough. Tears of the Kingdom released, 96 on Metacritic, coming up on 90 reviews I think now for it. Places it as actually the best reviewed game of all time on OpenCritic now. The game it beat out for that, Mario Odyssey. So it did what we figured it would, which was that mid to high 90s. It was bouncing around between 96 and 97. But with how expectations seem to ramp up over time from when Breath of the Wild released to now, it's pretty good for a sequel to a game.
I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm swinging and I'm moving it in different directions, and it's completely fine.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the complaint is.
They should ask the emulation guy first before they made that tweet.
Seriously.
True.
Anyway, Tears of the Kingdom, it's out now. I feel like basically everyone's played it. I've seen Jordan pop in and out online on it keeps popping up as like J Fridge over and over again in Tears of the Kingdom.
Put
So
him
I
on
know
blast.
Can't-
Robot Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Friend, your mic's been getting staticky and now it's robot-y.
Anyway, I know
Come
Sean
on over there, Fringe. Figure it out.
Sean, MVG, Max, Josie, OJ.
Yep.
Looking at Evan.
What?
You don't know
Looking at
what I've
Evan.
played.
No, okay. Now everyone else played it. So
Played on user.
Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. Tears of the Kingdom though is looking pretty good, but I figure we go around what we think of the game so far. I've played like 10 hours of the game so far. Picked it up on Thursday from the Australian eShop to get a little bit of a head start on it. But I think I've cleared one of the main dungeon-y things, temples, whatever you want to call it now, and on to the next one. But keep getting sidetracked in this game. So I think it's gonna take a while to beat it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel bad that the game, came out so close to Redfall, because it's like,
Why can't we just get away from Redfall, man? I bring up Zelda, it's back to Redfall.
how are you gonna?
Immediately.
Sean, you liked Redfall.
I didn't hate it.
You liked
We beat the
Redfall.
game, Sean. We beat the game.
Yeah, but I didn't hate it.
The whole time we were mad at the game and we beat it.
I feel bad for y'all.
I knew you would like Redfall too. I was like, eventually, I said on my Sean, I bet you think Sean's gonna like Redfall.
I didn't really like it. I just didn't
You
hate
liked
it
it.
as much as I didn't hate it as much as others did.
No, people think it's the worst game ever made. It's not, but it's definitely a below average game.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. There's a lot of vampires that just stand there.
Oh, I'm not gonna say it's a good game, but it's some people are saying it's like what's the
Babylon's Fall.
e-football game
Oh, no,
from
that game's
Konami that
worse.
looked crazy and like.
All right.
There are
I'll
some
talk
really
about
bad
Tears of the Kingdom first
Yes.
because
Sean had to bring up Redfall immediately.
no one
Go
wants to
ahead.
talk about it. So I got the game. I've been playing it for about maybe 20 something hours now. I don't want to say any spoilers, so I'll just keep it pretty high level. But I think last time we talked, I told you guys that I was a little nervous that maybe Nintendo couldn't pull the same trick twice this generation. I think they have successfully accomplished that goal. They got their hooks. This game got its hooks into me like pretty early. The story obviously is a lot more. There's a lot more story in this game than there was in Breath of the Wild, I feel like, and I really like that. I like always knowing what's going on and keeping track of things, even though it is a massive game. But overall, it is probably exceeded my expectations, to be honest with you. I knew this game was going to be good. I just wasn't sure if it was going to reach the heights of Breath of the Wild. And honestly, I think it's probably better than Breath of the Wild personally. And I do want to finish the game and then kind of give my overall rating on where I feel the game kind of lies in terms of the rankings of best Zelda games. But right now I'm loving it. I kind of wanted the honeymoon period to kind of wear off and see how I felt. And I don't know, like I'm still playing it. I still feel like I'm in the honeymoon period. So I'm really enjoying it. I think it's easily the best game this year and one of the best games this generation.
Okay.
What would they pay you?
Nothing.
Right.
I wish they paid me, man. Come on.
Modern vintage shill. I knew it.
I don't even get paid, bro. I want to pay me. I'm enjoying it too, man. I knew it was going to already be really good, though. I mean, I made a bazillion videos talking about how good the game was going to be because they're taking the same base game. I mean, to me, it felt like Mass Effect 2. It felt like Uncharted. It felt like all of those. You take the game that was there and then you just make it way better. That's what it looked like, clearly. And that's what they did. They just spent that time, you know? So to me, I always felt that it was going to be like a Mass Effect 2 level jump. It's going to feel familiar, but they're going to change up so many different things and it's going to be so more involved with the story and they're going to add a bunch of stuff. So it's kind of, I feel like MVG. Still kind of in the honeymoon period, but like, you know, I think it's really going to deliver. Like I like the underground areas and the sky areas. The sky stuff is super fun. Just like being able to go up into the sky. Like you see it a million times, but then like until you actually do it yourself, it's really cool. So those are my favorite things about it.
I reviewed it and I gave it a 10 out of 10. And I got to admit that a lot of the pre-launch stuff didn't super grab me. Like the trailers were good, but there was so little marketing that going into this, I did kind of make the accidental assumption of like, why aren't they screaming this from the rooftops? Why aren't they doing 40-minute Nintendo Treehouse showing it off? So going into this, I thought it was just going to be Breath of the Wild 1.5, but it's not. It is Breath of the Wild 2, and I really mean that in the biggest compliment possible. I just think that it impressed me so much. I finished the main story, but I feel like in a game like this, it's much like Breath of the Wild, where that is kind of where the game, there's still so much to do. I think I have over 100 shrines left to find. There's still so many random things that I see on Twitter that I'm like, I don't even know where the hell that's at. I love it. It's fantastic. The fact that there's the sky map, the depths, and the main map that's like a remixed version of Breath of the Wild. I honestly think this is the best Switch game we're ever going to get. No offense to Metroid Prime 4, but I think this is, we've hit the ceiling, and it's kind of cool to see what they've done with it.
I like the abilities as well. And that was another thing that I wasn't sure about because I felt like if they relied too heavily on the abilities, and they kind of lean on them a little bit, but it's always fun to kind of break them out. I feel like it's never, you know, like a chore or anything to build some shit. So they've really kind of nailed that as well. So yeah, man, I'm really, really happy with the overall result of the game.
Josie, let's hear it. What's the word on this one?
Oh, sorry. I'm loving it. I think it's really, really fun. I was pretty excited, but I didn't know what to expect going in, and like the way it opened up and everything, and like MVG was talking about, the story is like, it's really cool. Just like that, it's so much more than what was going on with Breath of the Wild. I've been having a lot of fun with fusing the different things together, and I just love how creative you can be in it. It's kind of kicking my butt right now because like early in the game, I feel like it's fairly hard because you'll just kind of like run into things and then you'll just get like bombarded. So I've been getting stomped a little bit, but it's a good time.
Are you still on the Great Sky Island, or are you off it?
I'm off. I'm off. Like I just got off though, so I'm like sort of on my way to the big stuff.
Do early shrines
can one shot you. Some of those early end, like the depending on what attack they do, they can just, if you only have 3 hearts, so if you only have 4 hearts, they'll just either one shot you, or if you have some of your health already down, they'll just kill you in one hit. So yeah, I ran into that too, Joe. So you're not the only one. I got smoked a couple times. Same,
especially yeah. I definitely suggest to anybody, do the first 10 shrines you see and immediately get 3 extra hearts.
Well, it was on one of the trailers, so I'm like, you know, I feel like I can talk about it. That one boss, it looks like the Gunstar Heroes boss with the blocks that kind of expand.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Like
he ruined me.
That thing fucked me up like early on in the game, but I've since gone back and just whipped its ass. So it's that kind of Elden Ring thing where you get some health, you get some stamina, you get some more better upgrades. You go back and destroy bosses.
Sean,
I mean, it's not Redfall, but no, it's a lot better than it pretty much took all of the things that I didn't like, or maybe not initially didn't like, but grew to not like with the first game, and fixed them. The world itself feels a lot more alive. There's things happening, there's interesting things happening, there's a million different side quests. I'm a big fan of side quests in open world games. I like side quests sometimes more than I like main quests, because I don't know, I just feel like sometimes they're packed tighter. You get in, you get out, you get all the story that you need, and you move on to the next one. So there's like a bunch of just littler stories. Does have performance issues. I mean, Switch 2, save us. Would have been nice to, especially when you see emulators and stuff already doing 4K 60 on it. It's like, fuck's sake, man. But that's not necessarily, and it doesn't detract too much from the game for me. And I know people are gonna say, well, why was everyone mad at Redfall being 30 frames per second, but nobody cares that Tears of the Kingdom is 30 frames per second? You're essentially comparing a decade-old piece of hardware to what's touted as the most powerful console on the marketplace. So, there is a sizable difference. And Redfall, I believe, is capped at, is it 4K on consoles, or is it capped at?
It's 4K.
Is it
4K minus 3 on consoles? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. And I mean, it has tons of dips as well. I feel like that impacts the game more so because it's a first-person shooter rather than an action-adventure game. But both are, unacceptable. But it's a little bit easier to understand that decade-old hardware is chugging along, and then Redfall looking like it does, the size of it as well. It's not a very big game to have those same performance issues. But just wanted to keep it a buck throughout. But yeah, great game. Easy contender for game of the year. I think now becomes the interesting part, though, because it's like, well, what the fuck is next? Where do we go from here?
Pikmin 4.
What the fuck is next? Where do we go from here?
I do feel weird in that I was excited for Pikmin 4, but this, in a weird way, I feel like I'm switched out. I just want to play only this until Metroid Prime 4, and then I don't want to play anything else on my Switch till we get the next console.
Okay. Jordan.
Is my mic even working?
You're good right now.
Is.
You're good.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Good. I was gonna say I'm probably the person least far in the game because I've been.
No, that'd be me.
Oh well. I was gonna say that Josie was kind of said I'm around the same part. I've just made it down to the actual kingdom. I've done a couple things down there. To start it off. I guess the best way. I just got a paraglider. If that's it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
Roughly.
Yep.
Spoiler.
It's
Spoiler.
There's a paraglider in the game.
oh wow, it's almost like it was
Crazy.
Who wouldn't have known? I think it's fantastic. I think it just takes what the first game did and it says, okay, but let's do more. Let's make this a full-on sandbox, create your own experience while we narratively build something around that. And while I do think the story is interesting, the story is the least thing I care about in the Zelda game right now, especially with this one. I'm having so much more fun just going off and learning about something else or looking at anything else to do, just exploring the land, playing the game, building and doing whatever I want. And to me, the story is coming second. If I get to another point where I get some story, cool. If not, great. I'm building my own story as I play through. And I don't know, there's just so much to do in the game. It is overwhelming, but especially with the internet age, I feel like there's like a social pressure to like beat games and be in the know of what's happening because everyone's talking about it. And for once, I do not feel that with this game.
I've never felt like that.
Because I don't have this attachment to like at the end of whatever spoilers that would be for the story, because I don't have that, I'm just like, I can play this for months. I could beat it in a week. I could take 3 years to beat this.
The last time I felt that was with
matter.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I gotta get that. Someone's gonna ruin this one. I gotta do it.
The last time I felt this was the last the last Zelda game, the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Well, I was just say Elden Ring last year because I literally took 160 hours to beat the game the first time around. I wasn't
That's right.
Was not in any hurry. And Assassin's Creed, Jordan, I think I was like 100 and something hours into that. Like,
but that
I
was
don't really feel like the pressure to beat games. I just enjoy them and take my time.
no, and I wish it's a feeling that reminds me of why I loved games. You know, why I love games. I feel like there's so many quick games that come out where it's like you have to beat it, you have to be in the know, you have to talk about it, you have to get to the end of this sequel game to get ready for the next one to know all spoilers, what's going to happen. And I don't know, it just feels nice that I could sit back and just kind of take the, because this is a long game. It's so leisurely. Everything feels like it takes hours to do because it's so slow is not the word I want to use because it's not
involved.
I would just, I don't know, it's very
that's true,
long.
but I also feel like once you start getting all your abilities, you can kind of get around the map pretty quick. I feel like.
I mean, there's definitely some stuff. It's just the game's massive. I think there's so much to do in it, and it's one of the few times I'm not playing my Switch in only handheld. I've decided that I want to experience it, like, I don't know, on a way bigger screen, and it is a lot more epic, scope wise. So it's I'm having a good time with it so far. Again, it's gonna take me a very long time to get through this game, but
Jordan, I feel you on that, man. Like what you said about having to beat a game. I know you guys aren't as into it as me, but like Xenoblade, it's always trending. Like if you're into Xenoblade, and like the people are spoiling it all over the place sometimes. So I feel the pressure to like either mute it or whatever. Just hurry up and beat the game, you know?
Best DLC ever.
Yeah, it is the best DLC. 92 average. 92 average on Metacritic. Let's go.
Only needed 7 reviews to get there, too.
11 reviews now. Up to 11 reviews now. But I mean, the base Xenoblade was.
We're not talking about Xenoblade. Quiet.
Xenoblade 3 was the game of the year contender, baby.
I think I speak for everyone when I say what's the AI OJ.
I think the most impressive thing about Tears of the Kingdom, though, is how many different ways there are to solve something. That's there is no game that is like that has that level of figure it out yourself, and what you do is going to be complete. Sometimes I'll watch how people solve a shrine online just to see if I was if I did it like they did it, and it's completely fucking different. Like, I don't even know how you do like a walkthrough for this game, because I mean, I guess you could, and then people could simply follow your path. But even because I had to restart my adventure for reasons, and like even that, like I go whatever, what the fuck, come after me, suck it. I even areas that I visited previously, I'm like, well, wait, this is different. I didn't notice this before. I didn't notice that before. So it's crazy.
I've been helping
especially some of the shrines. I mean, there's different ways to finish shrines. Like the one that stands out for me was there's one where you have to there's that rail, and you got to like build a thing to like connect to the rail, so then you can use the air thing, the wind thing. I just walked along the rail, like literally, just with the analog stick. And I just walked it, and then I got it to the other side, and I beat the shrine. So it doesn't punish you for not doing things the way that they kind of want you to, because there's no right way or wrong way to get to a certain part of the game. And I think that's what's really, really cool about it. I think they took Breath of the Wild and they just made it so much more accessible. Like I never really cared for the shrines as much in Breath of the Wild. I felt like they were kind of grindy and they were kind of annoying. So far, I've done about 30 of them, and I've loved every single one of them. So I'm expecting most of the shrines to be good. Yeah.
Although I do want to say, MVG, to your point, the team that helped out, that was Monolith Soft that helped make this game, and Monolith Soft, they also make Xenoblade as well. So I just want to just throw that in there, that Monolith Soft was big on the creation of this game. I just want to throw that in there.
Good to know.
MVG.
Yep.
Good to know.
I've been helping a bunch of my friends, like almost everyone I know in real life bought the game, and they know that I've had it for a week, so they've been asking me questions and stuff, and sometimes they'll send me screenshots, and I'm like, where do I go next? And I'm like, I don't know where the hell you are. Or they've built things that I'm like, I don't know how the hell you constructed this. I don't know. This game feels, I like the Elden Ring comparison, where it's just a game that's so big, you can't play it wrong. And I feel like that's just so cool.
Yeah, I think the shrines are just like fantastic, like you guys were saying. There was this one that I was stuck on today forever, and you have to get this ball in this rail, but it has to have like enough momentum. And I ended up like reversing the time on this thing and smacking it, and it was crazy, but it was like the craziest possible thing I could find to figure it out, and it was fun. But I definitely did not do that correct because I was on the wrong side. So then I had to like bomb myself over to the other side. It's crazy. It's fun.
So Tears of the Kingdom is that good? It is.
Yeah.
I started it up, going through it. There are a few there are some title cards that I remember very fondly, and they're really, really well done. I think Ghost of Tsushima is probably one of my favorite ones. This one is like right up there though. It's like little things, but the idea is to get you excited and kind of also present the concept in the world all at once. And when you dive off the top and it's just, here's the title card in the first like 15 minutes, and it's like, here's this big world, it really set the tone for the entire game. And if you have surround sound, this game supports it. It's 5.1, and they have that just the audio design of the piano fading in as you're like, it goes all around you, and it's really, really well done. So it kind of plays into the quality and sort of the little details to this game that I've noticed the entire way through. Like I said, about 10 hours or so. And it's just the game itself. I know people right now are trying to figure out how it got the scores that it did, the way it looks. And to be honest, the answer is very simple. It's just a good game. It's fun. So I think the biggest limitation, as Sean mentioned, is the visuals, yes. The performance, yes. Like this is a game that I think is just beating the Switch up. Like the Switch is doing everything it can to make this game run, and I'm shocked that it runs sometimes and doesn't just explode. I think this definitely is probably the game that I looked at the Switch and I'm like, you know what? I hope there is backwards compatibility in a patch for this, because this game would go to the next level easily. And I thought I was crazy, but Gene, I think, also came in and confirmed it a bit for me. This seems to chew through the Switch battery life more than I've ever seen any game too.
Yeah, I know why.
Okay, so MVG will fill us in someday. Maybe this week. I don't know. Who knows?
Right now, on Monday. There'll be a video on Monday.
Oh, here we go.
I figured there was some stuff with clock speeds, all kinds of things happening, just again to make this work. Because I think when people look at these games, and I fell into this too, and as games came out on even the PS5 and the Xbox Series, and I looked into it more for like Newswave and all this stuff, I started to realize that it is going beyond just the resolution frame rate of how a game looks, but also a lot of the stuff happening in the background. So Gotham Knights, they desperately attempted to explain why it was 30 frames, and it just, no one was hearing it. And I'm looking at this game, the physics and the interaction of the world is like mind-blowing at times in this game. It's something I've never seen before with the level of creativity they give you for the customization with things like Ultrand, attaching things all over the place. Everything has buoyancy to it. Everything's affected by fans that you put on. Like you could do some weird stuff and the game just lets you do it, and somehow it doesn't explode. I have to imagine game developers in particular are the ones that are most impressed, because it's stuff that layman's what we won't really understand if we haven't developed a game before, because we just see this just happen and we just assume it's all no problem, it's great. And you know, we see the resolution numbers and the frame rates and all of this, but what this tablet is able to do right now at this game is genuinely impressive.
It really is. I mean, it took many years, obviously, in development, and it shows, right? But like, the other thing is, you can summon those Zonai things, right?
Whoa.
And a lot of them have. I mean, come on, you know about.
That's literally on the starting island.
We saw it in the preview thing. So all of those have their own physics as well, right? And you can, if you have a lot of them, you can summon a lot of them all at once and basically just let them all go at the same time. And the fact that the hardware is kind of holding up and doing its thing is very, very impressive. I agree. I think the physics in this and the way that they handle like individual objects and the way that they all have their own physics and, like you said, John, buoyancy and things like that is phenomenal. Quite honestly, they did an amazing job.
It just all interacts, and I played, like, not necessarily compare them one to one, but like Horizon Burning Shores, love the DLC, awesome game, right? But you do check out that open world and you start to realize, along with other open worlds, you could pick Assassin's Creed and others, it doesn't have this level of interactivity. And this, I assume that's where a lot of the development time went, was making sure the world would just function. So I know they also built off Breath of the Wild that already had that, but then you basically have your own little mini game editor in there, moving things around, attempting to break the game. And I'm sure people already have. There's a lot of contraptions being built right now. But going from that, as soon as you jump down into the game, it's very easy to spot the shrines. So I feel like I've done more in a very limited amount of time than I did in Breath of the Wild in this time, because as you're falling, you can see the entire landscape. The draw distance is much better. And the shrines in this game just make Breath of the Wild look terrible. Like I might as well throw that game in the trash. All right, at this point, because the shrines are genuinely interesting. And as you said, MVG, the shrines in Breath of the Wild did feel kind of grindy at times. It's like they had to fill a quota of 100 some odd shrines. Like, oh man, we gotta, I don't know, make them push the ball over there or something, whatever. Yeah, in this one, I walk into one of the shrines, somebody set up a Jenga tower. I'm like, what is this? What? I got to play Jenga. And
I like Jenga.
There was another one I walked into, and it's bumper cars. Like, one was battle bots.
Yeah.
Like, there's some awesome stuff going on here. Right?
I said make it look like a tech demo. I made it. I said, Tears of the Kingdom will make Breath of the Wild look kind of like a tech demo at times, because they're going to have way more time to actually make fun stuff in the game than having to create all the physics and mechanics. Because to me, clearly developers, it seems like AAA developers don't want to do that. We've had I mean, when you play a lot of these open world games, it doesn't seem like they want to make the world interact because like it's too hard, or they want to focus on graphics, whatever. That's fine. But it seems like it's very difficult to do all this too. Like I'm not a developer MVG, but like, it seems like it's very, very hard to do all that. But I played a lot of these open world games and I got tired of them because they don't do a bit more in the open world. Still very fun to play. Still, all these open world games that are coming out, still very fun, but not having that interaction with the open world to me it's kind of a bummer at times. But you know how
I'm not a big fan of puzzle games, right? For the most part, I think like if you play a God of War game and you have to spend half the game doing puzzles, I'm like, well, I'm the God of War. Why am I have to cut a rope and then move a block and then do 3 backflips and then I'm over there, right? This game kind of alleviates that whole, like, when there's a certain way to solve a puzzle and it's like, okay, does this work? Okay, that clearly doesn't work. And you spend time just going, oh, this doesn't work. This game alleviates all that. And it's like, okay, almost anything can work if you just use your imagination. What if I put these things together and made this? What if I did it this way? And it rewards you for just figuring it out how you can do it. And that's kind of the beauty of making the puzzle not make you feel stupid, but creative. Because I feel like once you solve a puzzle that's a certain way how to do something, it makes you feel stupid by the time you figure it out. Like, oh, of course, right? This is like, oh yeah, you do whatever you want, figure it out. You just have to get you there to there, or get this to there, and you figure it out. You do it.
I did feel like a moron playing God of War at times, like not being able to solve some of those puzzles.
Yeah, more harder than they should have been. I will say that. There were a few where I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, God of War 2018, or even the older God of War games sometimes. Like even some of those, people remember those games.
I think I'm sorry, finish your thought, Jordan. Sorry.
I was just gonna say touching one more thing about the frames. I'm only really noticing any frame drops, whether it's the handheld or when I have it docked, when I'm using any of the powers. So especially when I'm lifting up something and I'm moving it around.
Ultra hand,
yeah, that's the only time I'm really going, oh, I'm seeing that there's like some chugging.
Yeah, when I hit Ultra Hand, I got to start smelling to see if there's smoke in the room or something.
I will say, depending on where the part of the game that you're in, later on the frame rate does take a dive more often. But like I guess the initial areas, the outside of Hyrule and stuff, if you're running around, you're getting a lock 30 no matter what. But I don't want to say any more because I don't want to give away the game or anything. But as you progress into the game, into the main story, there'll be more areas that does struggle performance-wise that you'll notice.
I think this is the game that, let's say they launch hardware next year. We'll just say even holiday, just be safe. I assume 2024, and everything's backwards compatible. This is the game I feel like you take and you just show off, like, oh, this is how much better Zelda runs. Like, I think when they did the upgrade for battery life, they would say, okay, the original one runs for 3 hours. Breath of the Wild, it runs on 5.5 hours here with the new one. Do that, but with like, oh, here it is now in 4K, or here it is now and running better in terms of frame rate. Because this game will still be fresh on everyone's minds, and it's still pretty impressive. So now I really want the next piece of hardware for this game.
I keep seeing those. I keep seeing people are tweeting out those screenshots and posting those 4K screenshots of it running on Yuzu, and the game objectively looks so much better. It's definitely. I mean, if the next Nintendo Switch has backwards compatibility and this gets an update, oof, I'm gonna play the whole game again. Yeah,
it because the core game is great. The Switch is definitely getting stretched to its limit here, and you'd expect that from the first party, but there's a lot of talent and money behind it, and it's still having a hard time. So
I don't think the next Switch is going to be 4K 60.
No, sorry, I want to be clear. Sorry, but I just mean any better performance. Obviously, it's not going to match that. But man, I think honestly, I do hope it. Honestly, I hope resolution is substantially better though. Personally.
I assume they'll upscale and do whatever they have to do.
Yeah,
there. But I would
take frame rate over resolution any day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They could do a Returnal. Yeah. Like Returnal was 1080p 60, and they just upscaled it to 4K.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that 60 is priority, but I just hope we could clean it up a tiny bit.
Yeah. So it's very good.
Before this game came out, I thought there was no need for another Switch. Like, just in my head, I was like, whatever, I don't really need another one, because none of the games really were pushing it. It was just we weren't getting third parties as much. But after playing this, I have hopped back on the Switch sequel because we need something else, because the frame rate, like I walked into this, there was just a bunch of enemies at this one area, and they were all shooting stuff at me, and it just kind of took a dive, and that was a little. And I don't notice frame rate, but that was kind of brutal. But
yeah, I picked up. There was a big wrecking ball, and I picked it up with Ultra Hand, and I was bashing a bunch of guys in a camp, and the frame rate got really the game was really stuttering. Like, oh no, you're doing all the things at once.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next Switch. But hey, the game really, really good. I'm sure it'll become the fastest selling Zelda game of all time. We'll probably hear about that in like a week or two. Midnight Releases made a return for this game. It's everything's looking up for Zelda.
I saw Josie was at one.
It was a good time.
Oh, you went to Midnight Release. It was good.
Yeah, it was fun. There was, I don't know, I was in Florida, so the people were a little wild, but it was a good time.
Shooting guns in the air, freedom, America.
It was kind of crazy, but it was pretty cool. The Zelda representative was there, and I got this cool or Nintendo representative, and they gave us arm sleeves, like the one from that he wears. So it was pretty cool.
Really? Let me see it.
It made a comeback though. Midnight Releases. I honestly thought they were done for good. Just needed Zelda to come out.
That's super cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I'm gonna wear it in my review.
There you go. Good stuff. Last Tears of the Kingdom out now. People watching this probably already picked it up, but if you haven't, I recommend it. I think it's a good pickup. Evan, do we have a Discord question over there?
We have a bunch for
anything Zelda related. Yeah,
we got a bunch.
Go through those. Yep.
Would you think Tears of the Kingdom would have scored as high if it wasn't a Zelda IP, but rather a new IP, but with the same exact gameplay?
Yeah, I hate these questions. I mean, it's Zelda. Of course, it's going to score high. I mean, let's not dance around the topic. But the thing is, Zelda has been consistently brilliant since the first game. I mean, there's been a couple of bumps in the road, of course.
What do you mean by that?
You just gotta score this game on its own merits. You can't say if it's not a Zelda game, would it still score high? I mean, I don't know how to answer that. At the end of the day, it's a Zelda game. That's what makes it so special.
How good are the new characters? Are the new characters and all the other? Are those really good? I mean, if they replace them with something else, I mean, it's the gameplay is what made Zelda Zelda though. The original Legend of Zelda, it was just. Unless you read the instruction booklet, you didn't know any story. It was just like when I first played it, I wasn't thinking about Princess Zelda and all this shit. It was like, yo, this is just like an open world NES game. That's what I thought. I was like, this gameplay's lit. Same thing happened with Link to the Past, Screw Zelda 2. But same thing happened with Link to the Past. I didn't care about all that. I was just like, yo, this is fun. The gameplay's great,
I feel like you can ask that question for basically any.
I'll say the correct answer, which is it wouldn't have scored as high. No.
I think you could say that for anything with a strong intellectual property. I mean, that's part of it is
like God of War, like Mario and stuff like that. Like that's part the history, the lineage does play a role in the review scores. And anyone who says otherwise, I feel like they're just lying to themselves.
Evan, we have another Discord question.
Yeah, we still got it. Will Zelda stay open world now, considering the massive success of the new saga?
Hopefully.
That's tough.
I think it's going to be a hybrid.
I do want a traditional Zelda game though now.
It's going to be the middle part of Hyrule or whatever they do next will have open world elements and will be dense, and then they'll make the traditional. I get this item, I go to this. They'll make a traditional one, but they'll have that open world because in past games, the past Zelda games, the Hyrule was terrible. They'll just make those actually interesting now. They'll just make those a lot better.
I guess I can see them sticking with open world. And if we want traditional ones, they'll just go back and do their remakes or something, or remasters of like they could do the Oracles or even Minish Cap or something like that and bring it up to better visuals and all that. And
dude, I would love a Minish Cap. Minish Cap remake, I'd buy that. I love the Link's Awakening remake, just same style, but Minish Cap.
Keep it like 2D and 3D Zelda. So 3D is a little bit more open world, and then they could have those 2D top downs like the ones from the handhelds. But now that we have them combined, they could just have two separate sort of ones.
I love it. Exactly.
What do you wish to see in the eventual Tears of the Kingdom DLC?
More dungeons. All of them.
I mean, I never played the original Breath of the Wild DLC, so it's.
They give us a bike, right? Maybe they'll just give us just a fighter jet in this one.
People already made it. Look at Twitter. People made fighter jets.
Yeah, people
fighter jets with a dick and balls on it.
No, do we have a submarine in this one yet? I'm trying to think of what kind of vehicles they would give us.
Just going through the game. I'm not worried about DLC right now.
They could probably
just a fighter jet just flying around fishing.
It'd be really cool if they made like a battle royale like Warzone, Hyrule, with the buildable stuff that you can make. That'd be kind of cool.
Everyone drops in and the switches all
Zelda
light
99.
on fire.
Yep.
Yeah. You all have to cobble. You have like 60 seconds to build something and kill the other players.
Rather than Tariq Village, it's Kakariko Village.
Is that why Nintendo bodied that dude's channel? Because they're gonna do it themselves.
Hey, that would. I mean, come on, people. I think people would freak out if they did that. That'd be interesting. Zelda 99.
Let's do it.
Imagine the Switch trying to run that.
No, I feel like that's something for next gen. That's like a next gen.
The moment two people use Ultra Hand next to each other, it's just smoke
breaks.
If someone didn't like Breath of the Wild but liked Genshin, would they like Tears of the Kingdom?
No.
I think that review that was a 6 out of 10 actually did a pretty good job explaining it from that point of view. In that, no, you probably won't like Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom they're the open world Zelda games. So.
That guy's review was bullshit, but
why?
Because he's complaining about the marketing as part of the reason why there's a problem, because he was pissed that it wasn't what he wanted in his review. Who does that?
I think if you're someone who didn't like Breath of the Wild, I think it lines up.
Who does that?
A lot of people.
No, there's a lot of people. There are more people.
That's part of the review score being bad is because you didn't like how they marketed it to you.
It doesn't necessarily mean it was part of his score. It
sounded like it was
a topic that he was discussing. I mean, you'd have to ask him.
He spent a whole. Did you read the review?
Yeah.
He did it in a video, right?
Paragraphs on it. That's what I'm saying. Like, he spent paragraphs on it. He spent paragraphs complaining about it. It seemed like it was part of the reason why. It's just based on me reading.
I don't think you'll like Tears though if you like Breath of the Wild.
No,
sure, I agree.
And this is kind of the last closest one to that. Open world game design was solved more than a decade ago by the likes of Bethesda and Ubisoft. Why do From Software, Rockstar, and Nintendo insist on breaking these basic design principles, and why am I under constant pressure to play these games?
That's what you gotta do. You gotta innovate. Like, I think we're talking about Tears of the Kingdom right now. I feel like whenever GTA 6 happens, that's gonna be like the next level of like innovation in open world. Also, it sounds like they're gonna spend over $1 billion on it, so that should be interesting. I think they just got to keep pushing the envelope because they want to sell. They want to sell more copies. So, and then eventually budgets will catch up and the whole industry will crash. So,
it's never a bad thing to innovate, though. So it's good that we're taking steps.
I disagree. Sometimes it can be bad.
My bad then.
Counter argument. Never change.
When you innovated your collection to emulation.
Yeah, that was good. No, that was good.
Pretty good innovation.
No, you changed, man. You're different now.
Different.
More of them.
That's the last for Zelda.
Right.
I could go to other things, but yeah.
We're gonna go to the sponsor for tonight's podcast, which is Factor. Make meeting your nutritional goals easy using Factor. Spring is right around the corner, meaning you might be too busy to spend time cooking if you're out and about more often. Factor will deliver fresh, never frozen meals directly to your doorstep. You can prepare these meals in just 2 minutes. Factor offers tons of options for a menu of over 34 chef-prepared, dietitian-approved weekly options. You always have something new to try. Need an extra boost of energy to support your wellness goals this spring? Try Protein Plus. Meals with 30 grams protein or more per serving. There are also over 45 different add-ons to pick from for those in-between snacks. It's cheaper and faster than takeout, and to me, that's the best part. Having meal ready in 2 minutes lets me plan out and get on with my day in no time, and less time spent at the grocery store with current prices on food is a plus. Head to factormeals.com/spawncast40 and use Spawncast40 to get 40% off your first box. That's code Spawncast40 at factormeals.com/Spawncast40 to get 40% off your first box. Shout out to Factor for sponsoring tonight's podcast. Let's go over to Sony with their studio issues right now. This is interesting because we started getting news dropped that Pixel Opus, they're being basically dissolved. I don't know what's happened to people there. It sounds like that studio's just closed. And questions as to what they were working on sound like Unreal Engine 5 project with Sony Pictures, but we may never know. But now we hear about them canceling what sounded like a 3-year AAA sci-fi shooter of some kind. And the latest news has Deviation Games shedding apparently up to 90 employees with layoffs happening all over the place. Deviation was partnered with Sony, and last year in June, one of their studio heads actually left, and that was Jason Blundell, and people were trying to figure out if that was a problem or not. Seems like it might be, because they had 140 some odd employees, now down to roughly, I'm going to say 50 or so if they lost 90. And since their one main partnership was with Sony, that sounds like that thing got canceled or taken away from them. I'm going to assume they missed several milestones or something happened in the background we don't know about, and it got canceled, which I'll be honest, a bit of a turnaround. I thought Sony might be moving to pick up Deviation Games. Looks like that is probably not happening at this point. So again, not sure what happened here. MVG, what's the thought here?
Honestly, John, I haven't really been keeping up with the story, but I don't know. It sounds like there's some stuff going on with some of these Sony studios. I think they're taking a look at all their different cost centers, and they're saying, maybe we need to make some cuts here, maybe in preparation for, tightening the budget, next year or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, unfortunate that 90 people have lost their jobs, and hopefully they'll find new things to work on. Yeah, it's a little interesting that we had Pixel last week, and now this. I guess there's a little bit happening there at Sony. I think they're trying to keep a low profile about it, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely some stuff happening at the moment.
Yeah, because the only way we found out is because people updated their LinkedIn's and was like, "Hey, I need to find a job now."
Doc Trey, break the news.
No, I don't know. I think was it VGC who got it?
VGC, yeah. I made a video about it. That was my video today, and yeah, it's a couple of the people at the studio made statements at both Devotion and Pixel Opus, and it sounded like very sudden. Like this was not like it sounds like some people, Pixel Opus is got another 45 days that they're working, so maybe they're going to release some final patch or something. But I mean, I'm curious what they were working on more than anything else, because I did like Pixel Opus's previous game, Concrete Genie. I mean, I wonder if what they were working on was just too far behind schedule or what. Like, I'm just so curious about what they were working on that the whole studio got shuttered.
Here's the thing. I mean, you said live service game. Is this what Devotion was working on?
That's what the main, that's what they hired for. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, we've talked about live service games, chasing trends and all that stuff. If it's going to take you so many years to get a live service game out after the fact where people don't care anymore, then maybe it's time just to pull the plug on it. And look, maybe these live service games, they're taking a closer look at, and they're deciding that this isn't really worth the investment. We probably need to, to stop what we're doing. Because I mean, a lot of them just are dead on arrival when they first come out, as we've seen with, Babylon's Fall and other games like that. So I'm not saying that that's not what was happening with this particular game, but I think some type of judgment call was made to say we're not going to proceed with this, and we're gonna let everyone go, unfortunately.
Did like an internal review recently, and I don't know if this is just because they're coming up on their showcase, they're making some rounds right now, and oh wait, this live service game isn't going like we were hoping. But it's interesting because they were very like upfront about their partnership with them when they probably didn't have to be immediately, and now they're kind of, I don't know if they're trying to figure out how to present this as, hey, we're not doing the thing with Deviation anymore. But 90 people, that's you're not making a AAA game out of it anymore.
Yeah.
And this sounded like, from what was going around, this was going to be like their first person shooter Call of Duty replacement, almost, is what they were trying to like frame it as. A lot of the people who were there were from apparently Call of Duty games like Infinity Ward and Treyarch and all of that, and I believe people from Titanfall, from what was said, Respawn. But I mean, now maybe they're all going to work on something themselves, and the 90 people were just being held up by Sony's funding.
I really wonder. I keep remembering when Days Gone came out and sold, I mean, millions of copies. It was a huge financial success, but the people working on the game were very transparent that because review scores weren't high enough, Sony management were kind of dicks to them, where they're like, oh, I'm glad the game paid its bills, but this is a 7 out of 10 and we want 9s out of 10s. I wonder if there was some internal analysis and whatever they was working. Maybe they're like, this looks like a 7 out of 10. We're just not even going to finish it.
I think but Sony's going to run into that with their live service games. They're going to be, I mean, usually they come out like a lot of live service titles and they just don't score very high usually, especially if it's one starting from the ground floor. It takes a while to build up, and then eventually it can become good. But
they need that name behind it. With like what we talked about with Zelda. I mean, factions. That's something that
Horizon.
I feel like is going to be a big thing. Yeah, Horizon and SOCOM and Killzone. I mean, if they're going to do this, they need to put a big IP behind it, or a big name behind it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Really.
I mean, I don't know. Sony just doesn't seem to want to go back to that Resistance name or Kills. It's kind of odd, but I don't. Maybe I think they wanted that military shooter, and that most likely they looked at it and either the scope was too big along with the money, or the quality just wasn't there, and they're like, nope, this is going to take too long. We're out. We have 8 other live service games that are about to be shown or coming up soon. So it's unfortunate, because I thought Deviation was going to be that studio for him to produce that game, but we'll wait for official confirmation. This news broke on Friday, basically on the way out the door, it seemed like. So maybe Monday or Tuesday we get official confirmation from someone, although I don't even know why Sony would tell us. Deviation would tell us, I assume.
I don't think they're going to say anything. I think they're going to be silent.
Well, we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens there. But hey, they might have a showcase to announce next week. So then people will forget about Deviation. Then they'll be like, oh, what? Yeah, let's do that showcase. Yeah, what? Huh? So
that was one way to squash bad news, is to just announce a showcase.
Break glass. Yep. Break the glass. Yep.
Social
showcase.
Smoke bomb.
There you go. Good enough. All right. Do we have any other Discord questions, Evan?
Still got a bit left. Assuming Microsoft's deal with Activision Blizzard is dead, do you expect a bidding war for a COD exclusivity deal next year?
The bidding war of 2024.
The thing that's weird about that is Microsoft, I feel like they mostly want to spend money for things that'll go into Game Pass. The marketing deal is important, I think, and that's one of the reasons Sony was fighting so hard for this, but Microsoft probably rather just spend money to get games into Game Pass. Although they do have the marketing for Diablo 4, which is interesting, but I feel like they're thinking money can be spent better elsewhere, like buying the entire company. So, which might get a ruling this week actually on something there. So could turn the tide. Do you have another one, Evan?
Do you think there is actual long-term support for Redfall?
No,
I hope not.
Didn't a report come out this week that a bunch of people at Arcane are already moving on? Like, this is what we said before launch. This is what I said this on the Spawncast. I'm sure someone will have a timestamp, but I said this game was probably just going to come out and get. I think it's going to get some content updates. It's going to get 60 FPS, but I don't I don't think there's really going to be any real substantial. They're not adding in another city section or anything.
I need to get away from that game.
Yeah.
They already started to work on their next game, but
Redfall
we don't
2.
know how many people are being left over to do content on Redfall.
Yeah, they still have some stuff they have to finish. You're right, OJ.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll get some updates. They'll make the game better. I mean, that's what I think will happen probably with it. I mean,
They got
it's Game Pass, so there might be somebody a year from now or 2 years from now that it's a much better game than it is right now.
There you go. Here's another Discord question, and then we got Metal Gear coming up. Sean, you're on deck.
There is much hyperbole around or surrounding the Xbox as a brand and console. Can you explain to the people just how bad it would be if they exit the console space?
They exit the console space. I think that'd be really bad.
It'd be terrible.
Lack of competition, then Sony wouldn't have to be pushed to do anything really.
Need competition. It's very, very, very important to have a big money player
not just for the consumer, but for the companies as well, like the smaller companies that are trying to get their stuff on platforms. Because if you don't have an option, then
also people need to realize that AMD gets paid from both companies to develop these chips. There's a lot of R&D that goes into that, and the fact that both of them are dumping hundreds of millions of dollars at times into this to get it done. AMD has a reason to actually produce these kind of chips, whereas if you have one, we'll help them, work with them, but these consoles share a lot of R&D and stuff because they're so similar now. So it's, you want as much money as possible you dumped into that, for even though people are like, do we need a PS5 Pro? It's just technology advancing. Why not? I'm not spending the money to R&D it. So that's the other big thing there. Let's talk about Metal Gear. Then I'll go to some of the super chats. All right, so Metal Gear Solid. Word is
we've talked about this before, though.
But this is interesting, okay? Because Metal Gear Solid, the word is that Sony seems to have swooped in, has some kind of exclusivity deal across the board. Castlevania, Metal Gear, those are the big ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
We already know Silent Hill. That's a thing, despite MVG's best efforts. That'll happen. And that's Sony came in for that too.
Still waiting.
Still waiting. So it sounds like Metal Gear Solid is getting some sort of revival. All right, we're going to see the logo, and it's not going to be next to Metal Gear Survive 2. So we're already working in the right direction. But Metal Gear Solid 3 is the one that appears to be getting the remake treatment.
Where did this rumor come from, John?
Tom Henderson.
So this came from VGC, corroborated it. We had Tom Henderson mention it. Jez Gordon mentioned it. Nate's mentioned it. Nate's mentioned it several times. Jeff Grubb said it. So yeah. I think there's some marketing materials maybe out there that people aren't showing because it's not a good idea. But I think this is going to be a thing soon.
Do we think Bluepoint's the studio that's doing this? Who's doing this?
I think Virtuos is doing it.
Virtuos is doing it.
I believe so. Yes, that's the word right now. Is that Virtuos to be the one doing it? And yeah, it sounds kind of interesting, right, to see them do it. But that's they could be running support. The word is they're involved in some way. But Sean, Metal Gear Solid 3. Okay, I've thought about this a little bit.
Okay.
In order to do Metal Gear Solid 3 as a remake, do you just drop 3 and do Metal Gear Snake Eater? Because it's the first one chronologically. You don't have to deal with 3 on it, which people will look at that and say, do I have to play the previous 2? So do you introduce it as the first one, even though it's technically the third one?
No, I think you just stick with the third one.
But you just still call it Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah, I think so.
Just call it Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater.
That's what I figured. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater.
Just call it Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. I think that'd be better.
And that's weird.
The trailer could just begin with the beginning of the Metal Gear Solid saga story.
There's too many new gamers, especially on PS5, that probably never played Metal Gear.
That is a good point. Yeah, how do you introduce a new audience to Metal Gear? Like, how do you do that?
You introduce them to the best one. That's 3.
Yeah. I mean, it is, but like what OJ brings up a good point. I mean, yeah, all the OGs, we're all going to play it. We love it, right? But how do you introduce someone that's new into the franchise?
Maybe that's the introduction. Having old heads like us tell everyone about it.
A lot of people know Snake from Smash, so they could sort of play into that.
That might be a thing.
Well, also, I mean,
that's the only way I know
isn't
Snake.
in Metal Gear Solid 3, child.
Guy from
Well,
Smash.
then I don't know.
Spoilers.
Metal Gear Solid 3 was on the 3DS.
Metal Gear Solid 3 was on the 3DS.
Yeah, it was on
Well,
the 3DS.
there it is.
well, then here's one MVG is thinking about the fact that how many people have never played Silent Hill, and now they're going to be playing the Silent Hill 2 remake. I think Konami is just assuming their brand is strong enough they can drop Metal Gear Solid 3 and people go, okay, I don't know what this is, I'll play it.
I honestly, I do think that they're going to do a number of things to introduce new players, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was just called Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. And they actually have like some casual modes. They have some, better tutorials put in there. I think they're going to do some things to help out, because Snake Eater, while it's very good, it's not the easiest game to play. Like, and the stories, it's not the easiest game to play. Metal Gear is not an easy game.
Metal Gear Solid 5 controls in there, Sean.
I mean, what I'm saying is that they're going to improve the controls. They're going to improve the gameplay. The original Metal Gear Solid 3. Then they had the whole subsistence thing or whatever that improved. That substance that improved things. So I think that they're going to do things to improve the gameplay experience.
What if they bring back the original? Protect me. That would be fucking.
I thought you were going to say, is he going to bring back skateboarding, the real substance we need?
They got casual modes, easy mode, casual modes. Make it to where people can, and then I don't know what they're gonna do with the story, man. That story is batshit crazy. So of course,
they all are though.
Like, yeah, they all are
9 times
out
of 10 they start coming true in reality, and it gets weird.
That's very true.
There's that cutscene from Metal Gear Solid 2 is I mean, honestly, like scary how close that is.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess what I'm curious about also though is that Metal Gear Solid 3 is so good, but then there was all that supplemental stuff, the Metal Gear files where there's like time traveling Raiden and stuff, which obviously is non-canon. But I wonder if they'll do like a DLC, which is Metal Gear Solid Stories, where we get to play through all that really weird stuff.
That's the last thing Metal Gear needed was time travel.
Oh my god, it was so funny. I loved it.
You guys seen the complete Metal Gear Solid story, like the complete timeline?
How many hours
watched that? It was about 3 hours. I watched it. It was about 3 hours, and that was a short one. And I came away. I thought I had a good idea about the story. I'm like, I actually came away a bit more confused, but I do know what happened. But that story is absolutely nuts. So it's going to be interesting to see new people, play Metal Gear Solid 3 and be like schmicks the whole time.
Yeah,
playing through this game,
Imagine that final battle though.
Yeah,
Metal Gear Solid 3 with the newer technology on we'll just say on the PS5.
The Shackle Hot.
That could be good.
We used to always in that game when they're talking about the Lale Lile Low, we used to think that was so funny. So still, whenever it's like, who just screwed me over? It was the Lale Lile Low. Like we used to just blame everything on the Lale Lile Low.
Lale Lulelo.
Oh my god!
I said Lale Lulelo.
MGS3 Guru. I mean it's day one if it looks good. So that's I'm hoping. I think people are just guessing at the showcase for PlayStation. It's the next event coming up, so people are like, it'll probably be there. It could be at Summer Game Fest though as well. The exclusivity thing's still kind of up in there. It could be timed. Could be one of those things where it's on PlayStation and on PC. And I'm hoping Konami just says, here's Metal Gear. We're going to get out of the way because we don't really need Konami for it.
I'm actually a little bit, I love Metal Gear, but if there is some type of Castlevania there, I might be a little bit more excited to see what they do with Castlevania.
Castlevania is interesting because I don't know if they'd go 2D or 3D with it. So.
Yeah, I'm guessing it'd be 2D.
2D.
I'm guessing it would be a 2D after Lords of Shadow 2. I mean, not that Lords of Shadow 2 is like the worst game ever, but
I don't know. They might look at that and say, well, if it's a big 3D game, we could charge $70 for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, but they might not care about the 70. They might just want to just get Castlevania back.
What if there was a 3D and a 2D? What if they had both? What if there was a 2D game and then there was also a 3D game?
I'd be a little bit worried about the quality because of I'm like, who's developing? That'd be like.
Well, that's the thing. They have studios for each one. Yeah, they have 2 different.
Yeah.
Studios.
Okay.
Yeah.
3D just makes me just a little bit more worried after Lords of Shadow 2. Not that it couldn't be awesome, not that it couldn't be great. And I like Lords of Shadow. I actually like the first game, and the second game is not very good, but I still played it and enjoyed some of it. But the 2D Castlevanias are way better, Symphony of the Night and all that, Rondo of Blood, like they're just way better.
They could do a lot of stuff with that.
Josie, what's your favorite Castlevania?
There was
Smash.
Yeah. I'm really good with Richter. I am really good with Richter.
Richter, Belmont, and Smash.
I haven't played them. They look kind of cool.
You ever use them in Smash?
No. I've never played the games. But
Well, what's interesting is you like the 2D Metroid series, so you would like Symphony of the Night. Like,
yeah.
Is Super Castlevania on the?
It is.
Check that out at some time.
Oh yeah, that's like a pick up and play. Yeah, you could.
That's a good
It's
one.
really short. It's super short. Super Castlevania 4.
I think Symphony of the Night only really got re-released on the PlayStation 4 and 5.
Yes, Symphony of the Night. You have the collection. You have it comes with Rondo and it comes with Symphony.
It was on XBLA.
Yes, there's an XBLA version as well.
I mean, it didn't have the right voice and stuff, but it's there.
Good game.
I played it a lot on the
Super
XBLA
Castlevania.
Yep. Super Castlevania is good.
Yep. Symphony of the Night's really cool though. That's like that's the Metroidvania came from the term.
I'm almost hesitant to recommend that because it's not Metroidvania. You know what I'm saying? Like Super, it's really good. Super Castlevania 4 is good, but it's more like the action adventure one, and it's not the Metroidvania RPG one. You know?
It's not as involved, so Josie could pick it up for an hour and be like, "Okay, I get it." You gotta move on. So
I prefer that. If I can just get into it and get out. Sounds good.
Symphony is, in my opinion, much better. But it's nowhere near as in depth. You know?
Yeah, Symphony takes
like
that's a game you can I don't want to get lost in, but spend a good bit of time in. So I'm excited. I hope it's at the event. I want to see what they can do with it. It's been teased and hinted at for a long time. And Virtuos, I hope it's them and they
wasn't there
they
one
put
more
out a
game
showing.
there? It was Castlevania. It was Metal Gear. And what else?
And then Silent Hill.
Oh no, I thought there was something else. Okay, no, there was nothing else rumored.
No, that was the talk. The talk was that basically part of that whole thing was that they're working on like a big Konami contract.
Oh, okay. I don't give a damn who gets it. I just want it. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds like Sony was trying to get in there and try to get, hey, Konami, sign this. We're going to do a lot with you.
Cool. I don't care what system it comes out. I just want Metal Gear Castlevania, good Metal Gear Castlevania. Bring it. That's all. You
did bring up Blue Point MVG. I am curious what they've been working on. Maybe they did get a Metal Gear Solid a shot. They could be the ones doing the first one, I mean, I feel like if you're going to do it, you do all three. You remake those because, I mean, let's be real. Metal Gear Solid 4 is probably never getting remade.
We haven't heard Blue Point in a minute, so maybe this is the year we'll hear what they're up to.
Blue Point would be great.
Is the rumor that Blue Point's working on like a Bloodborne?
I thought they were working on a brand new game.
I've heard all sorts of shit. But I mean, David Jaffe said that Bloodborne stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then he retracted it. My bad.
I feel like
can't put much stock into that.
With Blue Point though, they're trying to throw up the smoke screen. So I think that's why so much stuff has just been circulated because it's like it could be anything at this point. So
whatever they do, it's going to be lit.
This is not something that should ever be put on media because I will find you. But we haven't heard anything about Blue Point and Housemarque this year. So I'm wondering if we'll both hear from both of those studios.
Okay.
I'm setting up the lights.
Do not
Housemarque.
Returnal 2 or something completely different?
I think they're doing something completely different. I think they're going to continue just to build on the games that they've made, and the next game, whatever it will be a little more ambitious than Return. Which, by the way, I love Returnal. One of my favorites.
A great update. If that update stuff was at the beginning, I think people would have been like, "Oh wow, this could have been."
What do you have on your head?
Oh, it's a silk bonnet for my hair.
Okay. I just noticed it. Sorry.
No problem.
Did I get the bucket head out, Sean?
Yeah.
I don't know where it is actually. I'll have to find it.
Let me go over to.
It gets really dry during the summers here, so black people's hair just frizzes and just dries up to the point to where it's like hard. So I have to. Keep
spring is right around the corner, according to John's.
Factor.
What?
He said spring is right around the corner.
Let me go over to
summer's here.
Summer. Let me go over to some of the super chats here. Trip and Fall says, question for OJ. According to the poll you ran on your channel, which system had the better Zelda game, the N64 or the GameCube?
Did I run that poll on my channel? I don't remember. Had the better Zelda game, N64 or GameCube?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was the GameCube. Yeah, GameCube, Twilight Princess, and also Wind Waker. Yep.
Yeah, Ocarina and Majora's Mask are right there.
And so was Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
Veluxian says, Tears of the Kingdom offers even more reasons to explore than Breath of the Wild does. It's plain satisfying to me. Zoop says, according to reviews, Tears of the Kingdom is more of what I hate about Breath of the Wild. Can't wait for Starfield and Spider-Man 2 to give me what I want. I Live for Retro says, Microsoft needs to stop dropping games on Windows and do console exclusives or time exclusives if they want to sell more Xbox systems. They just want your subscription. That's it. They just want Game Pass subscriptions. So they don't necessarily care about dropping it on PC as well. Lemstar says, anyone see Wings go full Wreck-It Ralph on Boogie? I did not see that.
I haven't been keeping up with that. I know the fight got confirmed or something. It's happening.
No, they fought today.
They already fought today.
Oh,
yeah, the clip is all over Twitter.
Boogie
Yeah.
lost, of course.
Wings knocked him a couple times. He beat Boogie.
It was a TKO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had to stop the fight.
I'm surprised they made it to the second round. I figured they would have been gassed after the first.
Yeah. Boogie looked pretty gassed. Boogie looked out of it, man.
Elliot said,
now we just need Rich in the quartering.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh yeah.
Please. I'm gonna do a spirit bomb for Rich on that one. Please knock the shit out of that guy.
Oh, I know, right?
Please.
Elliot says, do you guys think if GTA 6 is fully playable in PSVR 2, that'll give VR and PSVR the thing it needs to go mainstream?
No.
I don't know, because the big thing right now with GTA is like the GTA role-playing servers and stuff, where people are legitimately like people at their desk and stuff in the world.
But that's done by people outside of Rockstar. There's like a little bit of a hate going back and forth. Like they're always worried it's all going to get pulled down. But from the sound of it with the new GTA, it sounded like they were trying to make it as immersive on the front end because they want to make the money for that kind of thing.
I wonder if they would decide to do that themselves as an option in there, and then part of it is VR support.
I don't know if VR is that big a deal for them. Probably first person still, but
yeah. Zoop says, as mentioned in my Discord question, the social pressure to play Breath of the Wild, Red Dead Redemption 2, Elden Ring, and Tears of the Kingdom is overbearing. Michael says, question for MVG. I've never programmed before, but I want to make a 3D game for GBA. Where should I start? How long do you think it should take?
Go to a website called devkitpro.org, and it has a homebrew development environment for the GBA you can download. There's a lot of samples on there as well. So there's like little spinning cubes and little samples, how to program inputs, how to program sound, how to do 3D. So check that out. There's a really good GBA homebrew community out there as well. I don't know exactly where you would go to find that, but I would just check out GBA Temp because they'll have a sub forum in there with GBA stuff. So good luck, and let us know what you're working on.
Big Red Review says Tears of the Kingdom is head over heels better than Breath of the Wild. Agree. Yes. Sicilian says, please weigh in, no pun intended, on the Wings versus Boogie fight result.
I think we did. Everyone needs to give, everyone's talking about this, both of them. Let's give some credit to that ring because fucking A, dude. Like, that's crazy.
Right. You got a point, but that's toxic.
No, I think the card was like their weight and stuff, and it's like 400 pounds versus 400. Like they're gonna meet in the squared circle, all that stuff. So they were hyping it up. Yeah. MTS says, who on the cast went into Tears of the Kingdom with the story spoiled?
I did not.
I had no idea.
Not me.
Metro says, can we admit Tears of the Kingdom had the weirdest marketing? Honestly, didn't feel super hyped until watching John's video, hoping for a potential next-gen patch to play.
The weirdest marketing. There's a lot of old games that definitely had
you don't know marketing.
Yeah, look through some of those old magazines.
To me,
look up the PS3 ads or whatever that was, where it was like black goo coming through the ceiling and a mannequin in the corner, and it was just like PS3.
The Daikatana ad that said John Romero is going to make you his bitch, suck it down. It's like it.
How about the old Game Boy ads? Remember those? Like
the DS ads.
I was thinking
about the Wavebird ad.
My favorite ad that makes no sense is that old Golden Sun commercial where the guy is playing Golden Sun and there's the symphony on stage and the people that are playing music are like shooting bow and arrows and like at the chandelier that becomes a dragon. It's like, this has nothing to do with the game, but it looks awesome.
What about the one where I think it's for Yoshi's Island? The guy keeps eating until he explodes in the restaurant.
Oh, it was disgusting. Yeah, I remember that one.
I don't think I've seen that.
No, that was when Nintendo tried to get into the Tood era because of what Sega was doing.
We talked about the PS3 baby. right? Remember though? Did we
The
mention
baby, the PS3 baby? Yeah, that one was
There
strange
was like
too.
6 commercials that were
Yeah.
yeah, it was
PS3
crazy.
baby ads where they were just like a baby, like just
a baby in a blank room. Just
yeah,
that was weird.
That was very weird.
This is Luke who says, "Great to hear Nate back." Let's see. Hi,
your kinky fuckery.
Hi says, "We're watching you, DCG.
No,
Always
fuck
watching.
all
What's
you.
up, panel?"
We're
Tijo
always
says,
watching you.
Link got 2 Breath of the Wild scale adventures. When is the Italian plumber getting his? I don't think Odyssey really counts, in my opinion.
What?
What?
I'm wondering. Well, like for the, I guess the large open world idea, like how we had Bowser's Fury was kind of sectioned off a bit. It still has that open world sense to it, but like really go all out with it. I mean, maybe that seems like a good launch title for the next gen.
Damn it! Sorry.
Oh, he's not even hiding it anymore. He's just playing Switch. Clade says,
"Shut up."
Clade says, "When do you think we'll know more about the next game by Team Ico?
Oh yeah.
Will
Team
be a
Ico Pro.
PS exclusive." Yeah, I'm like, I haven't really thought about Team. I haven't thought about them in a while.
Yeah, not since that's Last Guardian, right?
Yep.
Didn't they get kind of washed with Sony Japan a bit?
I thought. I don't know. I haven't really thought about them in a long time.
I'm almost positive they kind of got
like, wow. When was the last time I heard of that?
They haven't made anything right on the PS5 or.
I have to look. I don't think so. Nothing on the PS5.
Did they have any involvement in the Shadow of the Colossus remake?
They did. I think they did.
I think they only had like an overarching kind of direction and making sure that the vision was on point. But I think Bluepoint did most of the development on that one.
It was back when Sony still had their Sony Japan studio. I think they helped out too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Cody says, "Have any of you all played old Star Trek PC games?"
I tried to. Well, so I used to way back when Next Generation had a PC game that was like a strategy game, but you just saw the map and you would explore. I just kept getting killed by board cubes. I have Star Trek tattoos, so I'm really into old Trek. But yeah, I'm really excited that new Star Trek game comes out here in 10 days. I'm gonna try and review it. It's called Resurgence. It's by the Telltale people, so it's an interactive story, and I'm excited for it. Hopefully, it doesn't suck.
Yo, Dreamcast guy, do you guys know there was this FMV game like Star Trek that was like it looked like the actual show? Like it was like I played that shit, but like a long time ago, like in the mid-90s. But I don't remember what it is. I don't remember the name.
There were a bunch like that, and they all kind of blended together. There was one. They also did a first-person shooter on like the original Xbox that was called like Strike Team.
I think I remember that. Yeah,
I've not played that. I have actually heard that one was good, but I just can't imagine going around phasing people.
Tijo says, "Have any of you secured a Pyra Mithra amiibo set? If not, go do it at GameStop because scalpers can't scalp pre-orders in person."
I've been trying.
I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered mine. So,
Callan Shaw says, "How long did it take everyone to finish Tutorial Island? Felt like it was much bigger than Breath of the Wild. Maybe I explored too much, like 3 hours for me. Took me 2 hours. I have the gameplay recorded.
Yeah, about 2 hours for me.
I think it took me about 3. The cold part threw me off. I couldn't find warm clothes, and I couldn't figure out how to cook any chili because I'm an idiot.
What, you didn't know how to cook chili? You just
I couldn't find the spot to cook it, and so I ended up just stockpiling a bunch of chilies, climbing it, and just doing the thing where you eat food constantly.
I did.
You didn't find it, but did you find the cold? You found the cold clothing, right?
I didn't find it till after once I got Ascend, and you take the other way down. Then that's when I found the warm pants.
Cleo says, "I haven't beat Breath of the Wild. Now I want to skip it for Tears of the Kingdom." Yeah, you can just go right to Tears of the Kingdom.
I would watch a video called like Breath of the Wild Story Explained.
Yeah, because you can also tie in what's called Age of Calamity as well.
Yeah,
just get that all done, get caught up.
I think Nintendo released a 6-minute video talking about like just explaining the story, so you can just watch.
That's perfect.
Real quick.
Yeah,
just watch that. Love and Seven says, "Do you think Breath of the Wild 3 will be traveling through time?"
There will be no Breath of the Wild 3. They're not doing a sequel to this game.
It's a sequel to the sequel to the sequel of Breath of the Wild.
It's going to be like Ocarina of Time, but like hybrid between Ocarina of Time and like Breath of the
I
Wild.
heard the next one is Phantom Hourglass 2, honestly.
Finally.
Good.
Good.
You mean Spirit Tracks 3?
I don't need a DS to play it. I can finally be able to see the screen when I play.
No, it's
Dang.
exclusive.
Labo exclusive.
Yeah, right.
You could have played it on your Wii U, OJ. What's the problem? It was available on the Wii U as well. You wouldn't have. It'd be fine for your hands. Sounds like excuses from me.
Phantom Hour. Oh, I already beat it on my DS.
The clap sounded.
You couldn't beat
Play
the
it on
game,
your
though.
DS. You just said you couldn't play it on the DS.
Yeah, no, it was difficult. I still played it.
Oh.
It just says, I love playing Tears of the Kingdom and then watching someone play the same part, doing it a totally different way. That's the beauty of Tears of the Kingdom and its predecessor. Tijo says, is there a way to try out Tears of the Kingdom without spending money? I don't own Breath of the Wild or know anyone who owns either game.
Probably.
Nope.
I mean,
I don't know what
Yuzu,
Sean's talking about. Sonic says, I got a painful eye infection the day before Tears of the Kingdom. Struggling through with one blurry eye. New controls with no depth perception is interesting. Yeah, that'd be kind of tough.
Feel better. Get better.
Jordan says, as a currently former designer, I have never felt more pride than in seeing my industry colleagues create Tears of the Kingdom. Playing it almost immediately had an effect on a pitch I'm working on. Unbelievable.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
It's right there.
Stepsister says, help me, RGT, I am stuck.
It's RGT stepsister.
Oh, it like cuts it off because it's like all the way on the left side. It just says apostrophe S stepsister. If I click on it, it'll tell me the whole thing.
Like in adult movies, John.
What are they stuck in?
The probably like
it does say RGT stepsister. They even capitalize it and everything.
probably like
You better go over there and help her.
yeah. What seems to be the problem. That was like that Tom Green. I always thought I imagined it until I found it on YouTube. But like he has like the Tom Green show, or it's him and Glenn, and he has an actor come on, and he ends up being like a gay porn actor, and they show a little clip, and he's like playing a firefighter. He goes in the door, he's like, "Where's the fire?" And there's a guy on the couch. He's like, "It's in my pants." It was making me laugh, and it's still funny today. Go look it up. And then like Tom Green imposes himself on the screen. It's pretty funny. Fuck off.
The crickets. That's good.
This is from Sonic says, Immortal Phoenix Rising was the non-Zelda Zelda. It did not score as high.
There was a lot of other stuff with that game.
Yeah, there are a few other things going on in that game that
if they didn't change that, if they kept it Gods and Monsters, it would have done better.
Oh, hey, Monster Energy came in and slapped that right down.
And now they're going for Pokemon, as if that's going to work.
Someone has to.
Good luck.
Right.
All right, out of control over there.
What do you eat, OJ?
My wife just brought me some pineapples. So
I'm jealous. I'm starving.
Like
Oh, that was good.
yeah, they're very good.
Got enough for the rest of us?
Stupid soundboard.
Babe, come bring some more pineapples for the Spawncast.
Let's see. RGT Stepsister says, hey, John, we can all see your Discord status 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, I got to show you how to hide your what you're playing status.
Wonder what you're playing.
Go on. No, go on. I'd like to hear about this.
Yeah. Super chat us, RGT Stepsister. Get yourself unstuck.
What were you playing, John?
Phil Spencer says, Bayonetta Origins and Cube are both based. Cope Josie, Cope RGT, Nate Exposed, Where is Skies of Arcadia, MGS3 Remake, Parasite Eve, Fire Emblem 4 Remake.
I mean,
Did they just
There's
copy?
a lot.
Did they just
There's a
copy
lot
paste some
there.
keywords? Like what?
Bro,
Yeah,
they went-
it's like so
they went to
it's SEO
McDonald's and
generators.
read all
No, that was
the
an
way
awesome
across the
super.
menu.
Was that a super chat?
Yeah, it's from Phil Spencer. And then he also says, I'm the real Phil, Xbox and Misdefeat.
That was an awesome super chat. Everything that he put in there was like all jokes and stuff that we would say and things. So I liked it.
Okay.
Zbat says, shout out to Jordan for the video on Mario Hoops 3-on-3 this week. Speaking of which, what are some of you guys' favorite sports games you'd like to see?
Thank you.
SX tricky.
That's
NBA
is good, yeah.
NBA, what's it called? NBA Street. NBA Street, SSS Tricky. Those would be like the top two.
I think the
All the
only
three
thing I
series in
want.
general.
I mean, I know there was rumors that they were making the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, and they're never going to exist now. But man, I want those more than anything. I love the Tony Hawk games, and the 1 and 2 remake was just so perfect.
Moon says, invite Philip back to see what he's doing now and ask if he's playing new Zelda game. That sounds like an after show right there, Sean. There you go.
I'd bring Philip on.
There you go. See?
Like, why'd you do it, Phil?
Rumo says, Metal Gear Poo Poo Eater.
That's a classic.
Creation Station says, if Microsoft is more concerned about software sales and furthermore Game Pass subscriptions, why not abandon hardware sales altogether? Then have manufacturers such as HP or Dell produce the hardware with Xbox specifications.
That sounds like not a good idea. Didn't like Steam or Valve?
Yeah, that was the old
yeah.
Valve strat right there.
Yeah,
that went up in flames. So that sounds like a terrible idea. And also, who else did that? 3DO? What was it? There was another old company that did that. I forgot who it was though. So Panasonic. I forgot which one it was.
It might have been Panasonic. I know. I just remember Steam Machine just did not work out. So,
wait, what was the question?
If Xbox should basically do the software and then license their hardware out for others like HP.
Oh yeah, because you had the Panasonic Gold Star, and then you had the nice one that everyone wanted for the 3DO.
Yep. So I would not do that. I would keep that in house, and because then they also have their own in-house software developers and engineers that will go off and help these different studios to work with the specific hardware. So like they're helping Bethesda with Starfield quite a bit apparently.
Can I just add something real quick? I know people are giving Microsoft a hard time with the sales, but they're still selling the best. This is still the best that they've had. You know,
they're still ahead of the 360 right now. Yeah. I'm a little concerned they're going to fall behind it though, just based on their trajectory currently. But I assume you start releasing Starfield, Forza, big games, then they can pick.
You start releasing the big games, and Series S is still a good value for people. I'm telling you, like, I don't think it's as bad as some people are making it out to be with the sales. I get it because you're getting beat by old Switch and PS5 is doing way better, but it's not like it's selling on a Wii U level or anything like that. You know,
right.
You know.
I think that what part of it comes down to is that the gaming industry is bigger than it's ever been, like just earning more billions. And so the fact that they're selling the most that they ever have and it's still so low, I feel like it just looks bad to all of Xbox.
No, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Max. Yeah.
Rumo says they should replace Snake with Jesus. Sean says
that could have been Jesus. You didn't know that.
Did you guys see the game, the I Am Jesus game?
I Am Jesus, yeah. I Am Jesus Christ.
Sean says, happy Mother's Day to Miss Click and all the single mothers of RGT's kids.
Goddamn right.
Matthew says, if they finally release Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, would you want it sooner on the Switch, or would you prefer that they hold on to it for the next console at this point? They might as well release it now. I don't really know if the next gen system is going to do much more for it. It's their GameCube games. So
they might mean from a backwards compatibility aspect though.
Hey, hoping for backwards compatibility. So
praying for it.
Doesn't seem like a bad release. Beginning of 2024, drop the Wind Waker, Twilight Princess games that apparently have been around forever. And Jenna says, rumor has it that Sony Santa Monica might be helping with a 3D Castlevania. That would actually be pretty interesting. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'd be okay with that. Let's
so Alana Pierce would be writing that, right?
Let's talk about
developer of the year.
Let's talk about Mortal Kombat 1
and boxer of the year.
Let's talk about Mortal Kombat's reboot that apparently is happening. This got shared by Bill over on Twitter, and then everyone seemed to once again then show up and corroborate it further. I think Jez Gordon mentioned like Peacemaker and Homelander maybe being in there. Hey, you know what? They've done some weird things with Mortal Kombat. They had Predator was in there at one point. Freddy Krueger.
I'm playing. If Homelander's there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, that's my main right there.
The new Mortal Kombat game is rumored to be Mortal Kombat 1 is the title. Now that could just be the listing for it, and it could just be called Mortal Kombat, just because we keep getting that. Like these companies go back to just the logo and that's it. But Mortal Kombat is from NetherRealm Studios, WB, and it's slated apparently for PC, PS5, Xbox Series SX, and Nintendo Switch. So they did Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch. Seems like they might be pushing this Mortal Kombat there as well. $70 game, bunch of editions. That's the thing that struck me as, this is probably a thing. And it feels like this has been teased quite a bit by the main Mortal Kombat and NetherRealm Studios accounts. with the time and the clock ticking over and over again, which makes people think about the time travel and going back to the beginning. Also, if you look at Mortal Kombat 11, how that story ended, and also like the subsequent DLC and stuff, it sounds like they were going back to the beginning. So this to me makes a lot of sense. However, then you have Ed Boon showing up and saying, "Who said our next game is Mortal Kombat?" And then Injustice 3 started to trend then, and then he laughed about that. So he's a notorious troll. I assume that's what he's doing here, but MVG just said it. Could they have two different games in development right now? Is it possible?
Hopefully.
Is it possible that they have Shaolin Monks as a remaster or remake?
Stop it.
Yeah, see?
They're not gonna fucking do that.
I'm just putting it out in the universe. It's hopes and dreams more than anything.
Someone has to, okay? That game needs it.
It does.
Badly.
That game underrated.
That's a great game.
Extremely underrated.
Imagine that with online co-op. You know,
that's all you have to do. You don't even have to touch the game.
Make it 4-player somehow.
Yeah.
That'd be
do like widescreen, upscale, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Play a Shaolin Monks. Are you kidding me?
That'd be the best game ever.
That would be awesome.
Oh my god,
that game is really good. I would like to see that because it still looks all right, like on the original Xbox or HDMI, but it could use that treatment. I think.
Yeah, if you upscale it via emulation, you do 4 times upscaling. Looks really nice.
Where would I go to learn about that?
You already got it. You already got what you need.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Which
but we can't play it online though.
Yeah, we need online.
Do you go Xbox or do you go PlayStation?
I go PlayStation. PlayStation emulation is not or is less fidgety. Xbox can be kind of weird.
It's more mature, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to. I think that'd be a fun surprise to be like, hey, Shaolin Monks, and then we're also doing Mortal Kombat. But the idea of a reboot for Mortal Kombat.
I mean, we already kind of got one. Is what's weird about this.
Did. Mortal Kombat 9 on the 360. I remember playing that, and that was them going through the entire story of Mortal Kombat all over again.
Well, then, and all the time travel stuff in 11. I mean, I think this is them trying to finally just redo it. I mean, it's nobody really cares about the story that much, but I think it's just an excuse to bring back all the characters young and fight original Shao Kahn and Shang Tsung, but all remixed. I'm excited for it.
They killed everyone in Mortal Kombat.
They did,
11.
yeah.
They kind of have to go back to the beginning.
People were becoming gods and stuff, and they had to redo it.
There were 2 different endings though in 11, so I assume they've picked Liu Kang's ending. That's how I figure.
Reboot would be good though. Reboot's good. Just restart it. Just I don't know. Mortal Kombat's Mortal Kombat. I mean, we don't care about the story, but then when we play the story, it's like, hey, that's pretty good,
right?
But I don't care about what they do. But it always just ends up being good, you know.
I think it was Mortal Kombat 9 that really pulled me in and was like, okay, they could tell a good story here with this.
Oh yeah.
Originally, they would tell you through like. I mean, I guess Deadly Alliance had that initial cutscene that freaked everyone out because they killed Liu Kang immediately in the game. Before you even played it, they killed him.
The first Mortal Kombat.
But
Outer Realm, Shang Tsung.
But how they were able to
great story.
Cards with text is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, it got the job done though.
No, it was always interesting. It was always very interesting, but like really Mortal Kombat 9 was when they actually put it together and it felt like a regular normal story in a game.
There was a touch of FMV in that first MK game. I remember the arcade.
I just wanted to punch the sweat out of him on the Super Nintendo.
Right. Do you ever watch the super terrible? I used to watch the Mortal Kombat TV show all the time. The old live action. There was a live action one.
I remember the cartoon.
It was like a soap opera. Like the live action. The soap opera, they didn't fight very much. They kind of just sat around and talked a lot. It was very goofy. It was very goofy.
I think this would do well also next to the movie. Like, there's been the movie, obviously, that's been talked about for a while with Johnny Cage showing up. I think you have that, the movie around each other, maybe within a year.
But who's the rumored Johnny Cage? Butcher?
They keep throwing it around, right?
Yeah.
They talked about all kinds of people who are trying to do it.
That would be so cool.
Carl Urban?
Yeah, those Butcher is Johnny Cage.
Whoa.
I think the Miz would be better.
I think the Miz would actually be very good for that.
Yeah, the Miz would be good too. Yeah.
So everyone's trying to pitch themselves to be Johnny Cage. So I think
John, maybe you could be Johnny Cage.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
John, you'd have to be a hell of an actor to act like Johnny Cage.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're so unlike him. That's the funniest shit.
That's yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
feel like you didn't hear my question when I asked you what you were playing 2 weeks ago.
what was 2 weeks ago? I don't even remember what was 2 weeks ago.
Tell me.
I do not recall.
End of April. Oh, I was playing Jedi Survivor.
Interesting.
Beat it too. By the way, had to play that at 30 frames. Had no choice.
I'm about to play. I have it. I have it on PlayStation 5, and I keep hearing great things. I haven't even put the disc in yet because I've heard there's it's almost fully patched and perfect now.
And I had to play it on like the quality mode because the performance was all over the place. Like the frame rate was jumping everywhere, the screen tearing. It was just. But the game itself is very, very good.
I've heard that. I've heard it's great, and I've heard that the patches have already almost got it fully done. So I'm excited.
And they set up a third one. So
spoiler.
Excited.
Yeah, John, thanks spoiling.
I mean, I didn't say how they set up a third one.
Now I know that good.
Hey, main character could be dead for all we know at this point.
Whoa.
You'll have to beat it to find out. See, now people want to play it.
Is this?
I actually don't.
Oh.
Until you buy it for me.
It's a very good game. It is.
No, I'll play it at some point for sure.
It's Uncharted with lightsabers. Uncharted and Tomb Raider with lightsabers, kind of.
That's why I want to play it. I don't give a crap about Star Wars at all, but I mean, I already said it was Uncharted. I was like, all right, I'll take a look.
It is. It's like there's a bit of Prince of Persia in there too. It's good though. I liked it. Probably my favorite games of the year, actually. So
shorter than I thought it would be.
Little bit. I mean, I'm also going back through and doing some other parts in the game, like the Metroidvania style, where you go through different areas. But you're right, Jordan. It did. I don't want to say it ended abruptly, but sooner than I thought it would. You're right. Also, the twist was very obvious.
Okay, spoilers.
Come on.
And then
I
the
picked
other
up
twist.
Fallen Order, but
there it is. All right, good.
I haven't played it yet, but
yeah, I know it's gonna be. I don't know when you're gonna play it, but
yeah, at
when
some
you
point.
do, let us know what you think.
Evan, do we have any Discord questions left?
Yeah, we still got 3 left.
All right. Let's go through them, Evan.
I've noticed a lot of the cast here beats what seems to be like 2 to 3 games a week. Do you guys feel you struggle to absorb a game when you're rushing through them?
I don't beat 2 to 3 games a week.
That's max.
Yeah, that's max. I beat about 6 or 7 games a year. Let's be very clear.
I beat maybe 5 to 6, somewhere in that range, maybe a bit more.
I usually beat at least 1 game a month at this point. Sometimes more, because I think I've already beaten 7 or 8 games now, and we're in May.
Yeah, plus I mean games, are we talking about only big AAA games or like smaller games too? Like
That's true.
That's the thing, is that because I feel like people look at I tweet out my trophies a lot, and I platinum a lot of games. I think people see me as I beat a lot of small stuff. Like I've now platinumed. I'm doing all the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. I platinumed Final Fantasy 6, 1, 2, and 3. Now I just got to do 4 and 5, and I just beat Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, a lot of it's just the fact that a lot of us play a lot of games because it is our jobs. Like I game about 10 hours a day. So you game 70 hours a week, you're going to beat some games.
Hell no, Max. Shout out. That's why I give big props. Hell no, I ain't playing video games 10 hours a day.
Well, I wake up, I play games for a while, go to the gym for a couple hours, come back, eat a dinner, walk around the block, play games for another 5 hours. It's nice.
All right. Do you think there's potential for more than one SKU of a Switch 2 at launch?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. I bet there would
Maybe.
be. I'm trying to think if they would it just be storage size, or if they would do something different. Like if there would just be an all digital one.
One with the dock, one without a dock. It could be one.
That's
with
not a
more
bad
memory.
idea.
I like your
one
idea
without
about storage size, John. Maybe one that's all digital, one that's not, or something with different configuration in terms
It's gonna be
of
interesting.
flash.
It's not gonna be cheap to make it.
One with like a Switch Lite at the beginning, just like one Switch Lite model. And then,
Apparently, they're not lowering prices on the current Switch lineup for the rest of this fiscal year. So they say because the parts are still expensive, and I believe them. So it's that next system coming in at $400 to $450. Yeah, you might have to drop the dock.
All right. Last one. Now that Advanced Wars is out, isn't it confirmed that the person on Twitter that had their game unblocked despite the delay was real? To my memory, what they showed looks exactly like what we got.
Yeah.
Do we know how that could have happened?
No idea. eShop error.
yeah, just like
There was some kind of certificate that got approved by accident in the back end, and it's like, here you go. Because they revoked it apparently after a day, which could be done, I assume, pretty easily. But yeah, it seemed like it was legit. If people can see the beginning and compare it. It's very weird.
I will say, when I was at GDC, I asked Way Forward if it was some kind of marketing thing.
Oh,
and they said no, they had no idea how it happened.
wow, interesting. I mean, it's such a random thing that we've never seen happen before. I guess that's like, of course, people think it's fake, but I guess the person's just right place, right time, and there you go.
The Xbox Series X, the controlled leak with the big old pube on the back.
What?
There was a picture of the Xbox Series X console. I'm sure MVG and John know about this, but there was an Xbox Series X console. This guy just had a dev kit, and he's tweeting out pictures of it, and it looks like there's a giant pube in the fan, and everybody's like, "What is that?"
People were joking that it was Phil who posted the picture.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "Who? Why would someone tweet out a dev kit?"
Do we have another Discord question?
No, that's it. We're good.
Okay. Some of the super chats here. Matthew, Nick says, RGT, sorry about your Knicks. Time to trade Randall. Also, Lakers proving everyone wrong. LeBron wants that 5th ring.
That's crazy. The Lakers are really impressing me. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It was a great season, all things considered. And I think the culture has really finally changed.
It's time to trade Randall, though.
The problem is, what are you going to get for him? Get some pieces, get some role player, get some mid-level players, get yourself like I think you go crazy. And
go get like Draymond.
Go
get Draymond
back to the Pelicans.
Go get Draymond. Go get a couple mid-level guys.
Fuck Draymond. No, Draymond.
Draymond would really help out defensively with you guys. I think
we're fine defensively. Randall was the problem defensively.
Sounds like he can help out in the after show.
Yeah, so then you bring in a guy that can play defense, right?
Teacher says you forgot Symphony of the Night was also on iOS, PSN, as well as PSP via the Dracula X Chronicles. There you go. David says, hear me out, Bloodborne for PSVR 2 hype and VR sales.
It would sell stuff.
Patrick says, Nate, do you know if Dead Rising is coming back?
No, fuck Seriously? All you. Just shut up.
Thank you, Nate. The 16-bit says, is it better to buy retro games from Japan than US?
It's usually cheaper.
It's usually way cheaper. Yeah. But it's also, the prices in Japan are also going up in the used market as well.
Dwan Davis? Looks like we meet again. Okay. What's up? What up, OJ? I do get a cushion about Metal Gear Static 3. Is Platinum Gain go to make this one? Yes or no? Meta Gear, no.
Okay, so it looks like he's asking if Platinum Games is going to make Metal Gear Solid 3. No, they're not.
Not without a Kickstarter first.
I like the position here though, Mr. Davis, because they could do Metal Gear Rising 2.
Yeah.
And I'd be okay with that. And I think that's a great idea, actually, to go along with Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think you're onto something there, Mr. Davis. Stick with it.
Yep, check out their GoFundMe.
Metro says, can MGS3 Remake be like Fox Engine pachinko scenes? Gamer says, Q for RGT between TK suggesting the game was done, a dev refuting that, and lack of communication. Do you expect Fight Forever to drop this year?
I think so.
Okay. They have advertising in GameStop for that, by the way. So somebody thinks it's coming out soon. Jordan says, what do we think will be the next 90 plus Metacritic? Ooh.
I didn't say that.
Pikmin 4.
There it is.
I do think it's Final Fantasy.
No, I think it might get a little bit underneath.
I think it's not going to be Pikmin 4.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I think it's going to be Final Fantasy.
Hold on, let me check something. Wait,
Final Fantasy comes out after, Pikmin comes out after Final Fantasy, so.
Let me check something.
Well, then my bad.
I'm going to say Diablo 4.
Oh yeah, Diablo comes out.
See? Look at that.
June, nice.
June 6th. Yeah.
Holy shit, it's not far away.
Yeah. So, hey, 2023. Shaping up to be a pretty good year in gaming, right?
Don't be surprised with Pikmin, guys. Hey, look at the Pikmin. 89 on the GameCube, the original. Pikmin 2, 90. Pikmin 3, 87. And then Pikmin 3 Deluxe, 85. So nothing's been underneath an 85.
It can bounce, though. It can bounce.
Well, you know what? If we're talking next game to rank that high, I actually think maybe Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 is coming out.
That's out before Diablo.
That's coming out in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, Street Fighter 6. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
That's like June 2nd.
I don't think I think it'll be high 80s.
I think it's gonna be low
5?
90s.
What's Street Fighter 5?
Oh, Street Fighter 5 was not a good launch.
What is Street
Yeah,
Fighter 4? Let's go to Street Fighter 4 then, because that was like the big hype.
Street Fighter 4 was good. I think that's 93.
There it is. Okay, so it could happen.
Third strike. Yeah.
Third strike is going back.
Yeah, Street Fighter 4 was 94. 94.
Okay, so okay, that could happen too.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 4 was pretty good though. Even, I don't know.
No, it was fucking great. I'm surprised it got that high.
Well, I mean, the game was like a rebel. It brought back the fighting scene. Like it brought it. Well, you guys know, it really brought it back. So yeah, that game deserves a 94.
Logan says, RGT Step Bro, I'm stuck in a Jurassic Park arcade cab.
Which one?
All right, that's actually pretty hot.
Phil Spencer says, managed to snag Xenosaga 1 for only $30 at my LGS manual included. Do you see it spiking hard in the future? I own episode 2. Well, you want episode 3. That's the one.
Here's the thing. Xenosaga might come back.
Yeah, I could see that. I think they might do a collection for it.
It's
possible.
Play a certain DLC that's out, right?
I think they're going to do it.
Play a certain DLC, and if you beat the game, you might get some answers to that. So there
just go look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, just watch it.
No, I think you're just right. I could see them doing a Xenosaga collection. I think that'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool.
Probably going to happen.
I like it.
We'll see though. We'll see.
Let me go around here as we finish up. Let's go to MVG. MVG, where can everyone find you? What's going on this week?
Thanks for having me on. You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer. Check out my video on Zelda impressions I did yesterday. I also have another Zelda video coming out on Monday.
Gonna get some answers. And
I'll be playing Zelda all next week.
We'll be watching MVG. I watched the video today. We will be watching.
Yeah, I gotta see why the battery is draining. All right, I gotta know.
Where's that meme you used to always do with the chair, where you just do the chair and you just flip out the chair and they sit down?
Oh yeah,
you gotta bring. I'm doing that.
Yeah, I gotta find.
I'm checking that out on Monday.
I've been doing that for Max's videos though. I'll be honest.
Max, line up. Where can everyone find you, Max?
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. I'm sure I'll piss off somebody, so be sure to watch all my videos. I got some spicy takes coming up this week.
Good. Josie, where can everyone find you? Oh, do you might actually have a story for the after show. I don't know. About your midnight release stuff.
Oh, yeah. Check out my YouTube, Josie Woe. I have a video about the midnight release and then some other Nintendo focused content. I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers, so we're like
go subscribe to Josie Woe's channel right now if you haven't.
Subscribe.
Get it to 5K.
Jordan, where's the clapping?
Oh, sorry.
5K.
There it is. All
right. Josie, so that's like 2,000 subs, right? In the past number of weeks since you.
Yeah, my videos have been hitting a little bit.
Yeah,
so it's been nice.
Guys, go sub to Josie. Get her to 10K this year. Let's go.
Be crazy. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Let's go to OJ.
Yeah, find me right here on YouTube. I'm making more Zelda content, Zelda video out tomorrow, so check that out. And I also stream pretty much daily. So yeah, if you want to watch some streams, talk about some Zelda, talk about Xeno, I'm there. And RPGs, Final Fantasy, I'll be moving over to Final Fantasy once we get more information on that. So yeah.
Jordan Fringe.
Yeah, sorry my camera's off. It just decided to stop working and it hasn't fixed itself. So that's fun this week. Yeah, you can find me over at Jordan Fringe or Jordan Fringe Gaming. New thing on the Jordan Fringe Gaming channel this past week was Mario Hoops 3-on-3 video. It was fun to make. Working on some big content for the main channel, including my biggest video ever. Looking to clock in around 10-ish hours.
God. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, thanks for having me.
About Evan.
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at Kimmerix Project. If you're into tabletop games, specifically Games Workshop stuff, we've been doing stuff over there, talking about upcoming things that they've been releasing, as well as showing off kind of how games are played and rules and all that.
Okay. And then Sean?
You can find me on RGT85. Go watch all my videos, and we'll do the after show for a little bit.
Okay. So the after show is rolling. Go check them out over at Sean's channel. Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. We will be back next Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you guys then.
Fuck Mario.